The sporting and cultural centre of the nation, home to the Melbourne Spring Racing Carnival, the Aussie Open and of course the Australian Grand Prix. Tonight though it hosts the 2018 World Club Challenge, made possible by Visit Victoria. A very good evening to you and welcome to your first major hit of rugby league for 2018. Two of the best teams on earth have arrived at AAMI Park. It is the NRL Premiers Melbourne Storm taking on the Super League champions Leeds Rhinos right here on Fox League for the 2018 World Club Challenge. And for the very first time this year, a warm welcome to our experts, Mark Gasnier, Danny Badiris, and keeping the Aussies honest right in the middle, proud Englishman Sam Burgess. Gents, welcome. That's why you're there, Sammy. Sammy, we'll hear from you first. This is the first time Leeds have played a World Club Challenge in Australia. How are they coping with the conditions and indeed how are they coping with the disruption to their Super League season?
I've not actually spoken to any of the Leeds players personally, but from following online and social media, Ryan Hall and Wardy, a few of the boys there, they seem to have enjoyed the time. They've had quite a short preparation over here in Australia. I think they played on Saturday or Friday back in the UK and travelled over. But, you know, Melbourne's a great city. They'll have had some good fun and you know, knowing the coach there, they would have trained hard when needed to and, you know, be ready for the game tonight. Well,
the World Club Challenge, it's such a fascinating gauge on how Super League shapes up to the NRL. It's the debate that goes on in pubs and clubs right on both sides of the hemisphere. Gaz, you were involved in 2011 when the Dragons went over to Wigan. What was that experience like?
It was an awesome experience. We were lucky we had Wayne Bennett that had been there and done that on many occasions. And we actually got the first 3 days off just to enjoy the city. He said, go and sightsee, do whatever you want to do. And then I'll tell you what, it got really serious. We were adamant we wanted to try win it. And Georgie Carmont, we come up against Michael Maguire, you can see there, coach Wigan side, and they were really good, Vonnie. It was a tough match, it was cold, it was very, very physical, and it went down to the wire. We only scored with about 6 minutes to go to wrap the game up. And we were struggling, you know. Physically, they really dominated us for a period there. And I think that's probably the biggest thing with the English team, even at test level, when you play them, it's a real physical presence and they really challenge you in that way.
Oh, I can imagine the fans absolutely delivering the atmosphere as well. Danny, you're something of a World Club Challenge expert. You've played on both sides, the Super League side and the NRL side. We'll start back in 2002. The Knights have come off that premiership against the Eels to find themselves against Bradford. What do you remember of that tour? I'd imagine it'd be a bit rugged.
No, I reckon we got there on the Monday and enjoyed ourselves for 48 hours. And then Michael Hagan showed us the worst for us video of Bradford Bulls. Bradford at the time were just, they were steamrolling everyone. And we just watched that vision when we're in for a tough day tomorrow. And it was a tough outing for us. We dropped it off the kickoff. The wind was just coming in sideways. It was a real gluggy sort of game. And, you know, 41-26, I think it was. And I slipped over there. But yeah, and then I went to Leeds and had a game over there as well for the Leeds Rhinos, which was a fantastic experience to really understand I wouldn't say it's a hatred, but it's a really dislike when you're in the Super League for England playing against Australia. And you're going to see that again tonight.
So, yeah, you mentioned fast forward 8 years later, you're then in the Super League playing for Leeds up against the Storm, which turned into a bit of a controversial year. But what is the rivalry like and do you saw it in its infancy?
Yeah, absolutely loved it. It was an amazing experience. That was at Ellen Road and we had a really good team and we had an opportunity in front of our home fans to go out there. But I just remember the preparation of going against the Storm, and what it was just an us against them mentality. They think they're better than us all the time, and it was just an interesting experience for me to watch that from their point of view. And they do feel like the little brother at times, and that the NRL looks down on them a little bit. And I think they'll go out there tonight and try to, as a proud club that Leeds are, and put on a good show.
What do you reckon is the biggest difference, Bedsy, playing in both, you know, the Super League, the NRL?
It's just the consistency in the key areas, and the key areas for the NRL is the ruck. You know, you get a 4-second play the ball almost majority of times, but when you're over in the UK, you'll get a quick one, you'll get a slow one, and the emphasis is predominantly on attack in the UK, and it's switched over here. It's all about defence.
You've got to remember too, Vonnie, tonight they'll have 8 interchanges, they'll have the 7 tackle sets, they'll play under NRL rules, so that's probably got to be a disadvantage to the Super League team, doesn't it?
Certainly, of course, yeah. I think, and the shot clock as well with the scrums and dropouts, I think will have a huge influence on the team. I think also looking at the old vision, the weather conditions as well. You know, Leeds have been used to playing on some wet fields back in the UK in the first few games of the season. They'll be down here, AAMI Park, it's probably as good as it gets, right? So, I mean, look, the conditions are completely different, and in when the game's played in the UK, it gives the English sides a bit of a head start, I think, because they're used to conditions, whereas the Australian teams have been preparing pre-season training in the heat, in the dry conditions. So I think the odds are stacked against Leeds before the game even starts.
Well, we have a look at some of the crowds starting to pour into Amy Park, because we've all been hanging out for our first taste of rugby league, and this one should deliver. Sam, I'd be interested to hear, what's the hype? How does the hype, how is it received over in the Super League? Because it's not really club-based, it's certainly not state-based, and it falls outside Test football. So how do they approach these World Club Challenge matches?
In England, it's huge, as Danny mentioned earlier. I know, my brother Luke, I've been to watch my brother Luke and Leeds obviously playing a few, and then I was in the Bradford squad in 2006 when West Tigers came over. I was in all the video meetings when we prepped to play West Tigers, and it's a huge game. It's almost as big as the grand final, and I think doubly so because it's an Australian side. And as Danny mentioned earlier, the rivalry between Super League, NRL, North of England, working class think that they get hard done to and not given much respect. So
you're trying to say the Aussies are snobs?
No. But I mean, that's the perception in England, you know, and the NRL is this, you know, glamorous competition, which it isn't. I think both are exactly right. But you know, the English guys will certainly be you know, going out there tonight and putting the best foot forward. Because
Rhinos forward Stevie Ward, he said he doesn't see this as a challenge. This is an opportunity to really upstage the Storm on Australian soil. So they are, as you said, really looking forward to tearing into this. Both the Storm and Leeds are coming off unbelievable seasons, Gaz. As we know, you have the 1 to 17. Do you want to take us through it tonight? Yeah,
we'll start with the Storm, Vonnie. And I'll tell you what a team they are. Billy Slater, the superstar in Billy Slater, will line up at fullback. Vunivalu, Chambers, Scott, Addo Carr, Cameron Munster stays at 5'8". Brody Croft, the replacement for Cooper Cronk, will see a lot of eyes on him. Bromwich, Cameron Smith, Tim Glasby, Kafusi, Hoffman, back to that left edge, and Finucane. On the bench, Brendan Smith, Asifa Solomona, Kenny Bromwich, Christian Welch. And that is, you know, you think of who they've lost, and that's an amazing team. But they do come up against a tough opponent in the Leeds Rhinos. And that's Walker at the back, Briscoe, Watkins, Sutcliffe, the experienced Ryan Hall, Joel Moon, Myler, Cuthbertson, Parcell, Singleton, Jones Buchanan, Ablett and Ward. On their bench, Brad Dwyer, Brett Delaney, Jimmy Keenhorst and Jack Ormondroyd.
Yeah, so many familiar names right through their experience. So really looking forward to kick-off tonight. Now, don't forget, the international action, it continues tomorrow. We've got a double header at ANZ Stadium. It is St George Illawarra up against Hull FC, followed by the Rabbitohs and Wigan. Matt Shirvington and Lara Pitt will be with you on Fox League, live and exclusive, kicking off at 5:30 tomorrow. Sam, Bunny's in action. You won't be playing tomorrow, but there's some big changes happening at Redfern. How are South situated heading into 2018? Oh,
look, we're excited, as everyone else is at this time of year. Coming off the back of pre-season, everyone's looking forward to getting on the field and putting the practice out there in a game situation. Again, we're playing against Super League side Wigan, so it's going to be great and a fiery game for us. You know, we've been training really well. Some new recruits, Stengay guys, been great, and you know, Greg Inglis, Robbie Farah has been fantastic. He's come back from the World Cup fantastically well, and Damien Cook there is just showing me up in a little speed race, which is a bit embarrassing.
What about new coach Anthony Seabold? How have you found the biggest difference? You know, you played all the time at South Sydney under Maguire. What's the biggest difference between the two?
I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the two coaches. I mean, everyone plays the same sort of way, everyone defends the same sort of way in the whole NRL. So, but Seabold's brought his own style of attack to the team. We've trained under his methods, and it's worked. It's worked, you know, extremely well. The boys are really happy. A lot of belief in the system that we've put in place, and it's running pretty smoothly. But I guess, look, we've just been practicing against each other, and you know, no one's got any bumps and bruises at the moment. So, you know, we understand that. But like I said, looking forward to getting a game under our belt tomorrow.
The question a lot of league fans want to know: how's Big GI? How's he feeling? And is he going to be firing for round one?
Well, I mean, look, he's great. The last couple of weeks, his training's really gone through the roof, and it's been such a joy to have back on the field. His presence is unbelievable. He took a ball 2 foot over his head the other day and put his knee through someone's back to go up and score a try. So, look, the talent that he's got is amazing, and some of the testing he's been doing, been put through, he's a genetic freak, and just having him around the place has been fantastic, and he's in great spirits. So
probably one of the better balanced South teams we've seen in a while too. When you think of their attack, they were a bit predictable to that left edge. Now you got Dan Gagai over on the right edge. You got GI probably going to play left centre. Cody Walker, who I thought was brilliant last year. There's a lot of strike there, isn't there, Sammy?
There is, mate. Yeah, look, and probably a little bit more solidarity in the squad. It'll be there, probably stay there, and given a good holding in the season, before any changes are made.
Sammy, just before you go, we won't let you off that easy. Any truth to the suggestion you might find yourself back in the Super League one day?
No. Listen, I'm very happy where I am. I think
big goggles. Do you have the pint?
One of them.
The Stein goggles on. Yeah, the Stein goggles. I know, but I think it got taken a bit out of context. Q&A in the back of a bar somewhere.
The darn media.
I don't know where that.
The media. All right, kick-off not far away in this World Club Challenge. It is the NRL Premier Storm up against the Super League Kings from Leeds. Let's see how the Rhinos arrived on the world stage.
The theatre of dreams awaits. An electric atmosphere. These are the men we have come to see. And here we go. Maguire will go to the air, and I think he's got it. I think he has got it, Tom Briscoe. I think he has claimed the first try of the grand final. Eden's underneath this. Eden has lost it. Maguire swoops. Maguire scores the try for the Rhinos. Back it comes to Joel Moon. Joel Moon gets it away. Briscoe. Second try for Tommy Briscoe. Burrow slides the kick underneath the leg. Another knock on. Oh, could be a try for Maguire. But Leeds have won the day.
Never did I dream in my wildest dreams that we'd get to Old Trafford, never mind win it.
The Rhinos are the Super League champions again.
The Great Ocean Road, a winding stretch of coastline looking out over the Southern Ocean, home to Victoria's iconic surf coast and, of course, the stunning 12 Apostles. The World Club Challenge made possible by Visit Victoria. Welcome back. You are watching the 2018 World Club Challenge right here on Fox League. Two champion sides from different hemispheres. They meet for the fourth time at Amy Park tonight. It is the Storm and Leeds. A warm welcome to our international experts, Mark Gasnier, Danny Badiris and Sam Burgess right in the middle, just to keep us on track with all the English input. Warm-ups are underway at Amy Park, but the Storm, they bring a 10-game winning streak into this match. They are on an incredible run and could secure a rare treble tonight, meaning that the Storm already have the minor premiership. They are, of course, our NRL title holders, but they could be world champions by the end of this evening, Gaz. The Roosters did it back in 2013. Do you think the Storm are in the best possible position?
Yeah, without a doubt. I spoke about it earlier when I went through the lineups. The players that they've lost, you look at the replacements. I mean, Hoffman back to that left edge. Tohu Harris was outstanding, but he just slots straight in. Croft, we're going to see what he's made of, replacing Cooper Cronk. Their bench is great. I mean, having Asafa Solomona come off the bench, I can't see, with all great respect to Leeds, I can't see him getting close to Melbourne.
Danny, you've been part of the history between these two sides, and as we mentioned, it's a fascinating history because it is on an international stage, but it's not quite Test football. But take us through how significant it is tonight for both of these sides and how seriously they're taking it.
Well, you've got to give a massive credit to both these clubs. The last 10 years, they've probably been the two standouts in the northern and southern hemisphere. And I think with it's Leeds' 8th time they'll be playing in this World Club Challenge, and they'll surpass Wigan with 7. So they're a very consistent team. They've got... when you're a young kid, you want to grow up and play for Leeds. And I think that's very evident the way they play. They got gears, they absorb pressure, they can apply pressure. But no one applies pressure like Melbourne Storm. Yeah. So they're going to be tested in every area. They've got 4 front rowers missing tonight, the Leeds Rhinos, so that's going to be, Melbourne have a lot of punch in the middle, and they'll throw that ball out wide to their try-scoring freaks in Vunivalu and Addo Carr, who scored 42 tries last year. So I think it'll be a tough night for Leeds, but they'll give a good account of themselves.
Sam, in England, Broncos were always the big power, St George, those really famous clubs, but the Storm, I'd imagine that they have a huge support and reputation over there. Yeah,
I think reputation certainly, in the last decade, I think the success the Storm have had, just the pure fact that they've been seen over in England playing in other World Cup challenges. I think 4 of the last 10 or 5 of the last 10. And especially against Leeds. Leeds are a hugely supported club over there, and Melbourne and Leeds is their fourth time they played against each other. So, there'll be plenty of people back home in the UK at the moment waking up and turning the TV stations on. Nice warm cup of tea and getting ready for the game.
All right, well, we know that the Melbourne coach will be taking this very, very seriously. Let's hear from Craig Bellamy.
Well, Craig, what does this game mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot, Lockie. Our mentality has always been, to play in the game, the World Club Challenge, you need to win the NRL competition. So that's a pretty big thing, and the same for Leeds, to win their competition. And so we always take it very seriously. Our team tonight is the best team we can field at the moment. We've got a couple of injuries, but other than that, we're picking what we think is our best 17.
And how's match fitness?
Yeah, again, we've only sort of had that. We had a hit out against the Knights about 8 or 9 days ago. It was very hot. It was about 35, 36 degrees. So I'm not quite sure what we got out of that. But I suppose Leeds have got a little advantage there. They're 2 or 3 weeks into their season, so they'll have more match fitness up, I suppose. But having said that, they've had to travel. Different conditions over here as well than what they're experiencing over there at the moment. So probably all that evens up.
Craig Bellamy there, he is not mucking around at all, has named his best and strongest 17 tonight. Gaz, take us through the final list for who will run out at Amy Park.
Well, Bonnie, for anyone that missed it a little earlier, the champion that is Billy Slater starts at fullback for the Melbourne Storm. The try-scoring freak of Vunivalu, Chambers and Scott, Addo Carr, Munster, Brody Croft replaces Cooper Cronk. Bromwich, captain Cameron Smith, Tim Glasby, Felice Kafusi, Ryan Hoffman back on that left edge for the Melbourne Storm, Finucane on the bench, Brendan Smith, we might see Cameron Smith play limited time with him on the bench, Asifa Solomona, Bromwich and Christian Welch. And they come up against the Super League champions that played a hell of a grand final, the Leeds Rhinos. At the back for them, Jack Walker, Tom Briscoe, Callum Watkins, Liam Sutcliffe, Ryan Hall, what experience he has, scored over 200 tries. Joel Moon, Richie Myler, Adam Cuthbertson, who I used to play with, Matt Parcell, Singleton, Jones Buchanan, Ablett and Ward. On the interchange bench for the Rhinos, Brad Dwyer, Delaney, Keenhorst and Ormondroyd.
All right, let's get stuck into these team lists because the obvious thing that jumps out, Gaz, is this is the post-Cooper Cronk era for the Storm. Not that they are strapped for talent because they have a fantastic replacement in Brody Croft who's been given the halfback role tonight. Do you think this is such a significant night and an important night for Brody to make that number 7 his own?
I think it will be for his confidence. I don't think he has to prove anything to the team. What I love about Brody Croft, yes, he's quite gifted with his skill, but it's his mindset. He only played 4 games last year. He got 6 forced dropouts. He did score 4 tries, but it's that mindset like a Cooper Cronk. Don't worry about trying to score off every play. Let's build pressure. Let's back my front rowers, the other players to do their job. I'll do my job and I know we'll come and score some points. So I like his mindset. He's a good defender, which is a key to being the part of the Melbourne Storm team. So I don't think they're going to miss much, and that's saying a lot.
He's super impressive, the limited times we saw him last season. His halves partner, Cameron Munster, he hit the headlines during the off-season, Danny, but what would you like to see from him to make sure that his focus is now switched firmly to football and that he's in a good space?
Well, he's in the right place because if you're at any other club than Melbourne and you've got these so-called things hanging over your head, you might be seeing a little bit more publicity or the club be handling it differently. But he's in a great professional club like Melbourne, and then they've got around him, support him and understand where he's at and how he can improve that part of his off-field. But on-field, no questions. He's such a talent. He's got 14 line breaks last year, assists, I should say, and what that means is he's beating people very well with the ball and also with his footwork. So he's strong, plays unorthodox, I guess you could say, for a 5'8". He bounces across, and so it'll take a little bit of time for Croft to get used to him, but I think Croft will just organise the middle, and then Munster will just run around and just really pick up his outside bat.
And it's funny, the off-field things have caused some attention, but it's funny, in certain players' DNA is what makes them the players they are. And I'm not saying being a rat bag's great, but apparently he's very carefree by nature. Quite relaxed, a bit rats, as they say. So, I guess it's a matter of maturing, but what a player he is.
Yeah, of course. I find it quite interesting. 2 fairly young halves in their careers, but yet there's no pressure on them, really. Yeah. And is that down to Cameron Smith? It gives them great service, makes probably the correct choice. And they've got a fair pack, So, I find it funny we're not really putting too much pressure on these guys. We've already given them a huge rap. Coming into what is a big game, really.
Yeah.
And there's no pressure on him. And that itself is probably a benefit to Melbourne Storm.
His game management, I think that's a big thing for Croft, and what Bellamy would want to see tonight is the way he manages the game and when he kicks the ball. And if you're the Rhinos, anytime around the 40-metre line, you'd go right, which is take away Cameron Smith's left foot.
Yep.
And then you'd really put pressure on Croft and see what can happen there if you can unsettle Melbourne's kicking game, because they think it's their right to kick the ball well because they play the ball so quick, which allows that kick to go downfield pretty quick.
Well, Bellamy's pre-season is almost legendary in how tough it is and how unrelenting the training is. Further proof, the incredible transformation of Sam Cassiano. Sam, he's almost unrecognisable. This is a brand new man. Look at that.
Oh, it's amazing. I think we were chatting earlier, and you just really don't have a choice. I think in the Melbourne system, you're either in or you're either out, and I think it looks there that Sam's in. You know, he's dropped some weight, and look, I think he'll be so almost disappointed that he's not done it earlier in his career, maybe, because he'll probably see some great benefits. I know he's injured tonight and he's not playing, but I think during the year, the longevity, the amount of minutes that he might play, and his game can go to the next level. So it's going to be really interesting in that system, coming off Cameron Smith, to see where he goes this year.
I think we should send Hindy down there.
Oh, don't.
You know what the good thing about Sam is? When you go to the Melbourne Storm, I think they'll really simplify his role. Remember at the Bulldogs, he'd either play short, he'd go down a short side, he'd offload when need be. He just looked like he had free rein. I think they'll pull in the reins a little bit, and his timing of when to offload and other things will be a lot better. And I think simplifying will be a good thing.
He won't have to create Gaz, will he?
No, he won't. There's no pressure on him with that.
And it's interesting, when you see a player go through such an overhaul like that, it reveals a lot about their mental station, like where they're at. Are they more committed than perhaps he was a little bit more? Is he more switched on? You know, it's very interesting.
Like, you know, when you go to the Storm, everyone says it, you either jump on their bandwagon or you're out. So he's kind of got no choice.
You are a product of your environment.
Yeah.
I think he probably got away with a few things there at Bulldogs, probably, as he's openly said, that his nutrition probably not the best it should have been, and down there he would have had a bit more education towards it, bought into it, seen the results, and just continued with it. And like I said, he could bring some X factor in the forward pack, you know, to the Melbourne Storm, which is a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, Tohu Harris and Jordan McLean, big off-season departures, Danny. So how do they cover the work and the metres that those guys got through?
Yeah, obviously the high-profile one is Cooper. The attention that got and to see what he was going to do, but a real big loss for them, and they're filthy about it as well as McLean. Like, he was someone they're really hanging their leadership on and their go forward. He's someone that's he's got so many good years ahead of him, and he's such a dynamic player, and a lot of good things come off the back of him. And is Tohu Harris going to be one of those ones that breaks the mould and the trend that you really see where they do leave the Melbourne Storm system and don't really fire? So hopefully he can go over to the Warriors, and they've paid big money for him, and he can really stand up because he's a hell of a player.
Captain Cameron Smith, we've been told that he's only been back at training for about 10 days, but he obviously doesn't need the workload coming off such a World Cup year. But, Gaz, does that help in terms of longevity? Sorry, Sam, I just realised. Sorry about that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's all right. Sorry about that.
Geez, it'd be good to be Cameron Smith.
In terms of longevity, does that help him? You know, how does he continue this incredible career?
Look, I mean, it's his 17th season, Billy Slater as well. I think Melbourne Storm deserve a lot of credit because you've got to remember they travel every second week, and it's harder. A lot of the recovery people, good trainers will tell you, it's harder when you're on the road every second week to get the right amount of recovery. So first of all, Melbourne Storm need a lot of help, but it's his attitude. You know yourself on here, he's second to none in professionalism. He does all the right things, but more importantly, it's just his attitude. I think his attitude and his competitiveness is what separates him from other people, because you could argue that there's probably just as talented, if not more talented, than Cameron Smith, but his vision and his attitude towards things and the way he leads the group and brings people with him, that's what makes him great.
When I was under Craig Bellamy during the New South Wales campaign when Belly was the coach, this is how he thinks. He was a step ahead. He knew that he had a lot of representative players coming into his team and they're going to have some longevity. And he knew, well, he's asking a lot of players, how do you recover? And you play a lot. You've toured between 2000 and 2005. I think we toured pretty much every year except one. He wanted to know how that worked and how you felt about it. And it was interesting to think that a coach was planning ahead that far. Yeah. And he's looked after Cameron Smith so well and Billy Slater, and they've come back and paid him in spades.
On Bellamy, is he the ultimate professional that we have in the competition, looking to add to the already heaving silverware cabinet that Melbourne have? But have you seen any better?
I don't think I have, Bonnie. Not in the modern day era of what he gets. When you think of a level playing field and you think of who maximises talent out of their players, you see the players that go down under Craig Bellamy, and how they turn out is phenomenal. I mean, 7 grand final appearances, 15 seasons. It's almost one every second. That is unheard of in a salary cap modern day era. And I think the thing that sums up Craig Bellamy, and I was speaking to Jason Riles, and when they lost in 2016 to the Cronulla Sharks, he said Craig Bellamy was already planning that week for next year's grand final, how they could do things better, what recovery could have done better throughout the year. Did we manage players in the right way? Did we give them enough rest? What about the shifts on play too? Should we go down a short? Like, that is the mindset of Craig Bellamy, and his work ethic is second to none. So I guess, you know, bellyache probably doesn't let too many people in, but it's just this competitive nature and this willingness to work hard that just constantly keeps him at the top.
And we've been privileged enough to have ringside seats to all the success. It's been unbelievable to watch for the Storm. On the other side, we've got Leeds. Danny, what NRL experience do they have and what sort of form do they bring to tonight?
Yeah, they've got a little bit of NRL experience. They've got 4 guys over there at the moment, and Brett Delaney, Matt Parcell, Adam Cuthbertson and Joel Moon. They went over there relatively early in their NRL careers, and Cuthbert with 137 games. But what you do find when you go to a new club, especially like Leeds, as I spoke, you're an Australian and you go over there, you've got to earn their respect. That's the first thing. First and foremost is earn their respect, and that'll follow on. You'll understand what it means to them to pull on the Leeds jersey. And all those guys there have bought in. They're going to have long Leeds careers, and you know, Brett Delaney's been there for probably 5 years now, and I'm sure those other guys would like to be there just as long. And Joel Moon's a classy player, playing an outside back, but he's playing in the halves tonight, so we'll see a little bit out of him.
I think also as well with the NRL experience, they also have some international experience in the team there. You know, Ryan Hall on the left wing there, he's played over, I think, 37, 38 tests.
200 tries.
With a try scoring 1 for 1 in his test career, which is amazing. Callum Watkins, I think, 25 tests. Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Carl Ablett have represented along the way, and also Tom Briscoe played 4 or 5 years ago on the wing and played out here on an Australian tour. So they've got some experience through their ranks there. They've also got some inexperience and some youth, but with that brings excitement. So, you know, we could see a good game. If they complete and hold the ball, score some points, it could be exciting.
Definitely be physical at the start, without a doubt.
It always is. All right, gents, it's time for your pre-game predictions. Gaz, lead us away.
Look, Melbourne's right edge. They were exceptional last year, and I think they'll score 6+ tries in this game. Yeah, it's between Kafusi, Chambers, Suliasi, they're amazing.
All right, Sam.
I think it's going to be tight until maybe the 50th or 60th minute, and I think the Storm will win by 16.
Okay.
Sorry, everyone.
I love my Leeds. I love them through and through. And all those fans tonight, you'll hear some great singing from the Leeds fans, but I'm going to have to go against them as a pundit. I just think the middle third from the Melbourne Storm would just be too dominant, too strong, so they'll get a few tries up on the Rhinos.
Well, there you go. Can the Storm complete the dream, clean sweep and become world champions tonight? Kickoff is next in the World Club Challenge for 2018 right here on Fox League. Beautiful Melbourne, it's so much more than just sport, rich in culture and architecture. It boasts some of the finest bars and cafes in the nation. It is a true foodie's delight. I know some of our crew have given it a bit of a nudge. The World Club Challenge made possible by Visit Victoria. You are watching Fox League. It is the Melbourne Storm up against Leeds Rhinos. Here are your commentators from Amy Park, Andrew Voss and Michael Ennis.
Vonnie, the rugby league is back, and how good is it? Michael Ennis alongside of me. Amy Park gets to host this World Club Challenge final, and plenty of support for the Leeds Rhinos. Many have come across from the north of England, and the Melbourne Storm, they enter the post-Cooper Cronk era tonight. That is one of the real stories going into this evening. What a remarkable situation, Michael, that you trade in a halfback of 323 games experience, and we get to see young Brodie Croft with just the 5 NRL games under his belt tonight on this big stage.
Yeah, we certainly do. A wonderful crowd here at Amy Park, and as you mentioned, Andrew, the first game of 2018, we get a taste of the two champions, the Melbourne Storm of the NRL and the Leeds Rhinos from Northern England. And what a wonderful crowd and plenty of support here, as we mentioned. The Leeds Rhinos fans here in numbers, plenty of noise. We see some of the superstars of our game there. Billy Slater on show tonight, along with Bromwich, a star-studded lineup for the Melbourne Storm. And we get an opportunity to have a look At the Leeds Rhinos for the first time without stalwarts, Danny Maguire, Rob Burrow. But
massive change.
Oh,
Those two out
huge
of
change. Been at the club for a long time, but have started the English Super League in tremendous form, winning their first 2 games, and keep an eye out for their young fullback Walker, who has been in stellar form to start the season.
For those who don't follow the Super League, the loss of Maguire for the Leeds Rhinos is the equivalent of Cooper Cronk going.
Absolutely.
He was a 15-year club man, and Rob Burrow had been part of the furniture for a long time as well. But Maguire, man of the match in the grand final, not there. So they have to adapt as well. They've got the experienced Richie Myler wearing the number 7 for them, and the former Bronco and former Warrior going quite some time back, Joel Moon, and the number 6 jumper you're going to see.
The Leeds Rhinos are going to get an opportunity to have a look tonight at some quality, entertaining outside backs, Suliasi Vunivalu and Josh Adokar, who were absolutely tremendous in 2017. 23 tries apiece as we see Cameron Smith lead the Melbourne Storm out onto Amy Park with Callum Watkins.
Yeah, World Cup combatants as well for their respective nations. It's a big moment on Australian soil, the World Club Challenge. The Stars of Melbourne, the winners over the Cowboys, 34-6 in the NRL Grand Final against the Rhinos, who toppled Castleford, the equivalent of the minor premiers there in the Super League last year. Leeds won the Grand Final at Old Trafford, 24-6.
Young Brodie Croft on screen there. You mentioned stepping into the huge boots tonight of Cooper Cronk. 4 appearances last year for the Melbourne Storm, 4 tries and 3 line breaks. So he poises a real threat. Cameron Munster there, who's been in the headlines over the summer. He welcomes the opportunity to step back into the arena of rugby league tonight.
We just go past young Walker. Look at the youthful face of the fullback. But he got some big game experience last year. You're going to enjoy watching him. He wears jumper 24 at fullback, Jack Walker, for the Leeds Rhinos. We'll tell you more about some of their players shortly as we stand by for the national anthems here. This is the kickoff on Fox League. Leeds Rhinos and the Melbourne Storm.
Australians, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. With golden sail and wherefore toil, our hope birth by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Stirring start to the night. Splendid renditions of the respective national anthems. The big 3 at Melbourne becomes the big 2. You saw Cameron Smith alongside his great mate Billy Slater. And this Leeds Rhinos side as well. If I had to pick out one player that perhaps you don't know a whole lot about. Stevie Ward, the lock forward, is the one I would tell you to watch tonight. Genuine ball skills, that tradition of English rugby league when we think back to the likes of a Mal Reilly or a Kevin Ward who we've seen out here in Australia before.
We saw Danny Badiris, former Leeds player, on the pre-game tonight. He had glowing reports on young Ward, saying that he had no right to play in the grand final, had a busted shoulder in the prelim final last year and was written off to all expenses, and turned up grand final night, and as you said, tough as nails, and will prove a real prospect tonight against the Melbourne Storm.
Played the entire 80 minutes after that dislocated shoulder. Leeds have 2 games already under their belt in the Super League. A win in round 1 over Warrington. They backed it up last Friday morning our time with a win over Hull KR and had to come from behind to do that. The Tim Sheens coached Hull KR. So this is it. We're going to have a lot of fun here on Fox League this year. A massive season, 2018. And we kick off with a World Club Challenge. And Croft to Glasby is the first involvement. And Jones Buchanan leading the charge with Ward. Now Finucane. 4 defenders again. Hunt in there for the Rhinos. Smith takes them out and into the clutches of Singleton. This is marauding defence in the first 3 tackles from the visitors. Parcell involved there. Big thrill for him. Off goes Billy. And that time Watkins in with Ablett. Experienced back row for Leeds with Ablett alongside of Jones Buchanan. Well, Glasby didn't want to know about it. And Rhinos with an opportunity. Croft ends up with it.
Well, they're playing advantage there. Jared Sutton, the man on screen, the referee, saw a loose pass there from Cameron Smith. And as you mentioned, Glasby wanted absolutely nothing to do with this. Moon swoops on it. The former Broncos player throws an adventurous one-handed pass and Brodie Croft comes up with it, but no advantage played.
Well, in the intensity stakes, the opening minute is outstanding from the Rhinos. So 40 metres away from the Melbourne line and they sweep right from the scrum. And Walker has his first involvement. And now for Ryan Hall, well known to Australian Rugby League fans. 350 games registered tonight for the Rhinos. Nice work across to Myler. Harris to crossfield there by Brodie Croft. That's Sutcliffe. Moon, an unforced error from Brad Singleton. And Kafusi comes up with it for Melbourne. And that was the deflating of the balloons there for the Rhinos. Vunivalu now in possession. By gee, we've got some nations represented here. When you think of the World Cup, most recently Vunivalu for Fiji. Smith as he does, looking for a 40-20 on tackle 3. Smith, oh, it just doesn't make it. Rhinos have to be awake to that.
The experience there, Cameron Smith, he recognised his side under all sorts of pressure in the opening 2.5 minutes. Gets out of acting half. Didn't look like the cleanest strike you see there. Hit it on the inside of the ball, getting the reverse spin. But as the maestro does, he gets the bounce, and as you said, nearly pulls off a 40-20, and now all of a sudden the Rhinos with an opportunity to work it out from their end.
An interesting configuration from the scrum. Guaranteed they're not going the short side. They stacked the open and back in possession through the opening 3 minutes. And this is their new... Oh, Watkins is levelled out there for Nukin. Classic tackle. No sign of rust from the Melbourne defence to start the game. They had that hit out against the Knights last week. Now Walker. Jones Buchanan, incredibly 7th World Club Challenge final tonight. The only player I can think of in top grade rugby league who made his debut in the 90s. Kick from Myler. Doesn't really ask anything of Melbourne, but still steady. Good set.
Interesting there from the Leeds Rhinos, certainly moving the football around from scrum line to scrum line. You see the Leeds Rhinos bench there. Brett Delaney, the former Gold Coast Titan and Parramatta Eel, really moving the defence around early of the Melbourne Storm, as is the Leeds Rhinos, asking plenty of questions and making plenty of metres.
The Rhinos came off a wretched season in 2016 where if things got any worse, they would have been relegated, and bounced back with a championship last year. Castleford had been the runaway minor premiers. They actually beat Leeds 4 times during the year, and then Leeds got them in the grand final. Now Croft, some offloading from Melbourne inside their 20. Here is Smith. The footwork of Bromwich. Later on tonight, you'll see Christian Welsh coming off the bench. Big front rower for Melbourne. Great to have him back from a knee reconstruction. Glasby steamrolls his way forward there. Queensland origin play. Now for Croft. Cut out ball for Chambers. Takes on the defence of Moon. Look at the purple jumpers, and Walker confronted by Billy Slater. I dare say that tackle may be the young bloke one of his career highlights. I just got hammered by Billy Slater.
Yeah, nice piece of play there from Brodie Croft. Exposed the short side. Lovely ball out there to Will Chambers. Melbourne as well, moving the football around early, creating some chances.
So ready to go again, the Rhinos, and this time it is Munster driving in. But they stay in the battle. Cuthbertson there, 137 NRL games in his career. Now Myler cutting it out for Watkins. And, that evades Slater. It's still the cricket season. I think that was the wrong one. And from the back, I tell you what, the crowd is waiting for a big run from Josh Addo-Carr. Here it comes. 2-try grand final hero. The Fox is back on Fox. Now Scott turned 20 during the off-season. A try scorer in a grand final as a teenager. What a thrill for Curtis Scott. Steady she goes from Melbourne in this set. This time Smith from outside the 40. And more work for young Jack Walker from the opening round of the Super League this year. I counted no less than 4 try-saving tackles by this young fella. He only tips the scales at about 80 kilos. Put his body on the line, saved his team. And they got home by 4 points. Now Ablett. He's 32. His second row partner, James Buchanan, is 36. Here he is with the ball. He plays right edge. He had debut in 1999 as a 17-year-old, and a penalty goes the way of the Rhinos.
Yeah, interesting to see here Cameron Smith trying to dictate terms with his kicking game early in the tackle count. The Rhinos have come here with a real plan. They're looking to move the Melbourne Storm around. They know they love to compress their defensive line and get numbers in the tackle. Now they're moving the ball from edge to edge, which is only allowing the Storm to get 2, on the odd occasion 3 in, and therefore to play the ball speeds quick, which is how the Super League teams like to play. Move with the football.
Tried to put a fend on Kafusi there. Well, they're in position, as you can see. 25 metres out. Play the ball was sloppy. Cuthbertson with it. Offload there for Singleton. The front rowers saw a bit of open pasture. Just a glimpse. Advanced it to the 10. And another penalty, this time against Finucane.
Not quick.
What's the mindset? Go 2 or maintain the range? They'll take the tap. Parcell for Cuthbertson. Well, that's an interesting tap play. Walking into the Melbourne defence. Parcell, one of the quickest hookers in the game. Moon out for Ablett. Keeps it going. Sutcliffe. Trapped by Chambers. This is Hall. Now for Ward. No offload there. Kafusi and Smith do the work. But a good examination of the Melbourne defence early. Parcell. Prolific try scorer last year. Ablett going nowhere there. Yet another tackle for Cameron Smith. This time Ward. There's the pass from Ward. And Ryan Hall has got it down for the Rhinos. And the ball skills of Stevie Ward right on show. He would have been awfully handy for England at the World Cup. Rhinos, they open the scoring.
Beautiful vision here from Ward. Look at that. No look pass. Knew the defenders that he had out there. Ryan Hall, the experienced winger, positioned himself right on the sideline. The pass beats Vunivalu, and what a try for the Rhinos.
A no-look pass from a back rower. We told you that you can expect some ball skills from him. And talk about a man to finish. Ryan Hall. Well, if he got paid $1 for every try he scored in his career, he's a multi.
Well, it was really smart play from Ward. He summed it up beautifully. Swung down the short side close to the line. Melbourne Storm caught down there with only Chambers and Vunivalu. Turned into a 3-on-2 and a beautiful pass over the top. Beat Vunivalu, all ends up, and as all good wingers do, hold their sideline. And it's been a great start for the Leeds Rhinos.
Massive numbers when you talk about a 300-plus game man and a 200-plus try man. That's exceptional stuff. Watkins, first choice kicker here. Myler also a decent goal kicker. And Watkins needed a little more fade. A 4-0 scoreline. The Rhinos off to the start, and it's good reward for them.
Here we see here a couple of dummy half runs. They really had to play the ball speed, trying to test Melbourne close to the line. They get Kafusi caught in. So too Chambers. In fact, it was Croft. Vunivalu was caught on his own. And beautiful vision there from Ward. Inch perfect pass. And Hall over in the corner. And the Rhinos 4 points to 0. What a start.
Hall scored a try in that 2013 World Club Challenge final against the Storm that the Melbourne boys won. Ryan will be hoping he's on the right side of the ledger tonight. Now with that 4-pointer on the board. And Singleton as game as they come. The Island international wearing the number 10 for the Rhinos. But there's no shortage of energy from either side, I must say, but certainly Leeds serious intent about their effort so far. Moon now with the forehead bandage. This is Ward again. And Myler feeds it on to Jones Buchanan. Nice low tackle from Hoffman. But again, look at the speed of Leeds. Up on halfway with Parcell. Now Cuthbertson for Myler. And across to Watkins to kick. It's a dusty old kick. Still pressure on Adokar. And Melbourne had possession as Briscoe got through to make the tackle. Handy finishes both sides for Leeds. Tommy Briscoe, he's been linked previously as possibly coming out and playing with Cronulla a few seasons back, but he's also big numbers next to his name in the career. Scored 5 tries in a Challenge Cup final not so long ago. Bromwich up on halfway. Now Croft, it's Glasby. Cuthbertson and Ablett there. 40 away, last tackle for Croft. To put a little bit of pressure on Walker. Back he goes, and across field he goes. Everything we've heard about this young bloke, he is just going to be he's going to be a star down the track for England, I reckon, Jack Walker. Give him time. This is all part of the growing process. A game like this tonight.
Yeah, this is where they need to be good, as we see Hall again looking for work. And Melbourne Storm, they just stay in the contest, And there we see young Walker catching it on his try line that time, and Melbourne just trying to build momentum. Trying to strangle the Leeds Rhinos.
Now Cuthbertson on to Ward. I hope I don't jinx them, but for Fox League viewers, if you saw Leeds' last match against Hull KR, their hands deserted them. Their handling was appalling. Different story here so far tonight against Melbourne. Slater back with it. The Clive Churchill medal winner shows us a bit of the footwork right there.
And not a great end to set there for the Leeds Rhinos, and already we see Suliasi Vunivalu up towards the halfway line, and Okar now into the opposition half.
centre field for Finucane. Limited opportunities so far, but no real stamp on the game from the two halves. Croft and Munster. This is Kafusi off Croft. Numbers in the tackle again from Leeds, if they can keep this energy up. Munster now. Well, he may have mishit it. He's still an opportunity, and there is Walker. Brilliant stuff from the young fullback.
Yeah, superb positioning again from Walker. A lot of the Melbourne Storm's attack so far in the opening 40 minutes has gone to Croft and Kafusi and Chambers on the right-hand side. This is one of the first touches we've seen from Cameron Munster. He certainly mishit it. Turned into an opportunity, though, but Walker, again, in great position.
He certainly got something, the fullback. Sutcliffe there with the ball. Interesting player they'll bring on that left side later. Leeds. Jimmy Kindhorse scored a hat-trick last week. Jones Buchanan, Ward, well, that certainly didn't match the pass that set up the try. That one, that was like he was tossing a watermelon off the back of a truck.
This is the danger area for the English side. We heard in the pre-game Sam Burgess talk about Leeds potentially being able to stay with the Storm for that 50 to 60 minute mark. That's the difference with the Melbourne Storm. They just stay in the fight until you give them an opportunity, till you come up with an error. And now all of a sudden Melbourne with the opportunity for their first attacking set inside the Rhinos half. Munster to feed the ball.
Controversially, two referees being employed for the World Club Challenge. And now Croft on to Slater. And O'Carr across from the left side. So a pressure set here for the Rhinos. Slater. Smith is a first receiver for Finucane. Ward on his back. Parcell down low. And a penalty to Melbourne. Take it up a notch. Did we say a bit of pressure? Now a lot of pressure. And the quick tap. Played again, Dale Finucane. 12 metres away from the line. Smith to the right. Croft up. Short for Bromwich. He's over. Big Jesse Bromwich scores the try for Melbourne. The purple flags are up. And scores a level. Melbourne visit the Leeds 20 and get the ultimate reward.
Well, you'll get a great look here, end on, from the new number 7 for the Melbourne Storm. Beautiful play. Nice and direct. Big man hitting a hole right off his outside shoulder. And Bromwich one-on-one close to the try line. Too hard to handle. And all of a sudden, the Melbourne Storm, with their first attacking opportunity, they capitalise.
Wow, what about that? Well, we've just seen from Brodie Croft fair, and we've had those glimpses last season, but what a great game that we can produce these young players, and Brodie Croft steps up tonight. 5 games under his belt, puts on the first try for Melbourne.
One of my favourite things I love about Nathan Cleary is his ability. He never passes the ball to someone in a worse position. And Brodie Croft, from what I've seen from him, Andrew, is exactly the same. You look at this, he's going to the line. He expects to get hit. He's willing to get hit. Yeah. And what that does is it creates a huge hole, an opportunity. Look at the reaction there from Bellamy. He knows he's got something special on his hands with young Croft.
Point well made, Michael. Michael Ennis in commentary tonight on Fox League. Exquisite play from Brodie Croft. Cameron Smith. Oh, he's missed one. The golden boot. Maybe he's wearing a big, heavy golden boot. He's hit the upright from beside the posts.
Here you see it again. Look at Croft. Shows inside, attracts the attention of the defenders with Solomona inside, and then lays on a beautiful short ball for Bromwich. Look at this. Looks inside to Solomona. Beautiful play. Catches Ablett sliding out. One-on-one. Paul Walker was never going to stop Bromwich.
The high kick-off. Melbourne back with the ball. Oh, then Singleton will be done for a shoulder charge. He's looked to shirt front. Nelson Usafa Solomona with his first hit up of the ball. Do they get them this big up in Leeds?
Singleton was the man. He come flying in, tried to iron him out. Look at the sweat come off. Asifa Solomona.
You don't get that in cricket, Michael. It's great to have the league back.
Absolutely.
Great to have the league back, and we've got a double-header for you tomorrow night right here on Fox League from ANZ Stadium. St George Illawarra Dragons against Hull FC. That live from 5:30. Then the Rabbitohs against Wigan. Kick off to that one, 7:45. A double-header right here on Fox League. And earlier in the afternoon too, action from the Warriors and a second string Storm in Rotorua. First chance to see the Warriors for the year. And now, well, Finucane's claiming held. The referees say no. Dale's filthy. 4 scoreline. This has been a tremendous battle through the opening quarter to get us back with our rugby league fix. There's Croft again. Ablett, Cuthbertson was hurt. Slater, off he goes, weaving, and then Smith puts the kick in. Hall with a fumble. Exciting rugby league right there. All's well that ends well for the Rhinos. It's a line dropout, but Melbourne have slipped into gear here.
Oh, haven't they? What? You see Jared Sutton here. He's called timeout. Jones Buchanan. In fact, I think we're going to have a drinks break here. Formalities at this time of year, Andrew. I mentioned Brodie Croft again. Little show on the inside this time, taking on the defensive line. What a player we've got on our hands here with the Storm.
So here you have it. What a contrast at the 20-minute mark. If this match was being played in England, they'd probably have a hot water bottle break.
Well,
warm your hands.
You know when you just get into the cricket and then the orange cart comes out and then they go to an ad break for a minute? We don't have that in rugby league. Look at this. Players are still out there. The referee is talking to the players. It's great to be back. Look at Amy Park, superb.
I've got to say, watching this, I don't know whether the Rhinos knew there is such a thing as a drinks break. Or otherwise they're waiting for the kettle to boil and have a cup of tea instead, because no one seemed alert to it that they could get together here and just regroup for a little while.
They might be thinking this is the Australian shot clock.
The 2.5-minute shot clock. Cuthbertson's a mess. Get the staple gun out there. Line drop out with the Rhinos. And it bounced awkwardly there off a good length. Now Bromwich to Slater and lobs it over the top for Scott. That is
in trouble.
Oh, and over the sideline, and there's the intent of the Leeds Rhinos and the veteran Jones Buchanan. You can hear him yarring at the end of that. That's great stuff from Leeds.
The Storm looking to be adventurous there. Bromwich, Slater. And with the Harbour Bridge pass over the top, and while Scott tried to get down, that energy and enthusiasm again from the Leeds Rhinos. They're here to play. Numbers coming in. Jones Buchanan coming in. Watkins making the tackle. And a great reward there for the Leeds Rhinos.
St Helens have probably been the standout club in the opening 2 rounds of the Super League. Ben Barber's club. But this is Leeds as if they've got the first 2 games and they've had their eye on this, because this is, I know they won their first 2, but this is big improvement. Now Parcell and Ward again with it. Hoffman there in defence. Now Myler. Joel Moon. Ablett. No sign of abating the effort that's being put in by the Rhinos. Delaney now on. And the centre field with Moon and Myler. 25 metres out. That time the floating pass is for Briscoe. Scott missed the bus on the way through. And that will be the changeover, but I don't mind the enterprise and adventure there from the Rhinos.
I'm really impressed. I know it's mentioning it again, but Melbourne's strength defensively is their ruck and their numbers to the tackle. And at the moment with the football, when they control it, the Leeds Rhinos are limiting their ability to do that with the movement in their football. It's excellent coaching.
Yeah, wrap for Brian McDermott. Here is Welsh back. did his knee round 9 last year against the Dragons, and out of sight of the fans, putting so much work to be on deck for this one. Now for Smith. And Croft is almost through. Delaney just had him there. Good set for Melbourne, and now penalty as well. 22.5 minutes in. More defensive for the Rhinos.
I'd like to see Cameron Munster get a little bit more involved at the moment. At the moment, it's all around Smith and Croft, I apologise. So used to saying Cronk. 17 years.
Well, I can imagine Cooper feeling a little strange watching this tonight. As Munster with the ball, well, they've run into the back of Finucane. Ward finishes him off. The referee obviously ruling no defender obstructed on the play. Finucane off Smith. He's had a lot of touches of the footy tonight, Dale Finucane. Here is Cameron. Cross he goes. Croft the dummy. Brodie Croft. Brodie Croft, has he got it to the line? I think he has. Mr. Sutton.
I have tackle 4. I have a try. We're reviewing that it's momentum that gets the ball to the line.
Well, again, it's Croft taking on the defensive line. That's momentum for me. Ablett there gets beaten, all ends up on his inside shoulder. Croft coming off the right foot. We need to see this in full motion. The ball ends up on the line.
Momentum takes him to the line. As can be seen there is no secondary movement by Brodie Croft, and the ball is on the try line. We have a decision.
Geez, we're back quick. We're back quick on a bunker call, and it's going to be a try to young Croft. We saw him get a hat-trick last year against the Knights. We saw him kick golden point field goal against the Cowboys during Origin time. He's already producing special moments. Welcome to the new era, Melbourne.
It's his 5th appearance for his 5th try. He's laid on another try assist, making it 4 in his short career. It's intelligent play from Brodie Croft. He uses Solomona up and Bromwich on his first one, lays on a try for Bromwich. Since then, he has attacked the line with speed and footwork, and twice he's nearly come through. He's persisted with it, and this time he beat Ablett. All ends up with a beautiful right foot, and his strength and power gets him to the try line, and all of a sudden Melbourne, who have been on the back foot, 8 points to 4 with a kick to come.
Surely he doesn't miss 2 in a row. Cameron Smith down the middle for a 6-point lead for the Storm. They scored 3 tries in the first half last year against the Cowboys in the grand final.
Beautiful. That's the one where he took on the defensive line. He had Slater pushing through. This one just backs his ability. Dummy beats Ablett, all ends up. Beautiful left-hand fend on Singleton. Boy, oh boy.
So Melbourne now rocking and rolling. Asifa Solomona scored a try on Test Taboo at the World Cup for New Zealand. Welsh on the run now. He's got that bit of Martin Lang about him, Christian Welsh, the running style and the headband. Former Shark and Panther.
He's been terrific for Finucane. He has been absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, no Jordan McLean or Tohu Harris now in the Melbourne forward pack. Finucane very much a leader. Now Smith, Welsh had to get out of the way. Walker will defuse this one. These are interesting minutes now for the Rhinos. See how they react. So much energy used up in the first 25 minutes. Walker limping after that last run.
They can't force their hand. They can't come up with errors. They need to hang on to the football. Beautiful offload there from Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins right over on the left side of the field, passing to the left centre, Sutcliffe. And Delaney with it. Scored the opening try if you joined us late. Ryan Hall got it. This is Moon, allowed to run a long way. Oh, James Buchanan never had control of it. Look out. Sound the alarm. Addo-Carr is almost away. Slater for Welsh. And he's a stellar offloader, Christian Welsh. That's another dynamic for Melbourne with him back. Chambers flick. Vunivalu. They're looking slick, Melbourne. If you're a Rhinos fan, hang on to the end of this set. That's all you're thinking. Slater with it. This is Smith. And across it goes for Munster. Kept goal. Scott puts it down. He was about the size miler up. And they will call the knock on. And it can be nothing but that. Munster feels as if a scoring chance has gone begging.
There's a nice clean early ball there. Out to Curtis Scott, comes up with a fundamental error. You see here, Munster lets it go early. Beautiful ball right on the chest. And Scott comes up with an error. Buchanan, he thought it was a free play.
Well,
he
that's
thought
right.
He was back at home.
Yeah, we probably need to explain that to some of our viewers that in the Super League, as we've seen in the Auckland Nines in previous years, you get the free play and a drop ball. So the moment the ball's turned over, you may as well try something to bring cricket in. It's like the no ball, the next ball, free play. So their reflexes are to do something like that.
Yeah.
And now for Hall. By the way, there wasn't going to be a play-the-ball crackdown in the World Club Challenge, nor will there be in the 2 games tomorrow night. There will be in the other trial matches involving NRL club against NRL club, but the Super League clubs are not part of the crackdown.
Now
the
again,
Rhinos get a penalty.
That momentum at the ruck we've mentioned earlier, Andrew, again. The Rhinos moving the football. Quick play the ball that time from Ablett. And now the Rhinos with an opportunity to go inside Melbourne's half for the first time in a number of minutes.
By the way, we saw Welsh concede the penalty. He wasn't idle off the field while he was going through rehab. He graduated from university. Very dedicated young man with his rugby league and his studies. All credit to him. Lyndon Droid is now on the big 23 for Leeds. He's one of the tallest they have. Now Watkins.
Great tackle. Great one-on-one tackle from Scott.
James Buchanan. Well, they've done well. They're just outside the 20. 11 minutes to go until half-time. Myler, Parcell, James Buchanan took a knee. Watkins, back it goes. Delaney is caught. They're going absolutely nowhere. Parcell with it. Now Watkins. Good offload. Parcell dangerous. Offloads as well. Myler did the same. This is Delaney. Good tackle, Kafusi. For Moon out of dummy half. This time for Ward. Again a pass without looking. Watkins with a kick. Briscoe won't get to it. And Addo-Carr takes a touch in goal. A nice respect between the two wingers there.
Great piece of skill there from Callum Watkins. He's kicked on a number of occasions tonight. That one beautifully weighted in behind Addo-Carr. Means his side a repeat set. Look at this little shimmy and then drips it in there behind Addo-Carr. But the speed of Addo-Carr, his ability to turn and chase, look at that. Incredible. Covers the ground like no other in the NRL.
Time off.
Richie Myler on screen there. Now Brian McDermott, the Leeds coach, the former Great Britain international, has to be happy. Oh, what about that bounce? Hall was like he was in the ballet as he went up and did a pirouette. And Melbourne will get the scrum feed. There's big Keithy Galloway just over the left shoulder of Brian McDermott. Look at this bounce. Oh, that's a bludger.
It certainly is. Certainly. Look at Ryan Hall.
You had a look at Jimmy Kindhorst, who's out there on the left side. Look, unless Jimmy's packing a little step ladder, I don't know what he could have done about it. Be surprised if he took one of them out there. Here's Chambers with it. 10 points to 4. 9 minutes remain first half. Melbourne looking to win a 4th World Club Challenge final tonight. They've only lost one. Smith on to Bromwich, and Welsh with it.
It's where the Melbourne Storm are superior in the modern day at the moment with their bench. We see young Walker. That's disappointing coming off, and Slater on the attack.
Yeah, well, that's caused the reshuffle. That's why Kindhorst is out there. They've had to move things around. Bromwich with the ball. This is Melbourne looking to take a big advantage here. Munster, Scott with it, fended away from Myler. Good work by Ormondroyd there to prevent another offload, and the Rhinos do well. Could have almost penalised Scott for not releasing the ball there.
I mentioned there, it's the bench of the Melbourne Storm, Andrew, at the moment where they are far superior. What they get from the likes of Asafa Solomona, Bromwich, Welsh has been terrific since he's been out there. It's a huge challenge for their rivals this year in the NRL.
And this is Kindhorst with the ball. First time I've ever had the pleasure of calling a German international. In fact, a dual German international, which makes it even bigger first. He's played both league and union for Germany. Now Myler, offloaded by Cuthbertson. I like their confidence. They haven't gone into their shells, the Rhinos. They are having a crack. Dwyer is out there. And then across for Moon and Ablett. And Kindhorst, well, what do I say? You know any German, Michael? As Vunivalu comes back with the ball.
Absolutely nothing, Andrew. Bit of South African in amongst there too. Too much cricket.
I wish I hadn't have asked.
So do I.
Now Slater with it. I can only think of Hogan's Heroes. And I'm thinking, Colonel. No, but that's probably inappropriate. 7 minutes away from half-time. And Kenny Bromwich with it for Melbourne. Smith, poor old Kindhorst. He's coming off the hat-trick and he's turned into a feather duster so far. Dwyer gets in a tangle with Smith there. They often keep Parcell out there even when they bring the backup dummy half on. That goes for Croft to test a bomb. See what unfolds here. Juggling effort at the back. And Sutcliffe, who is filling it at fullback. The penalty is given to Melbourne for running off the ball. The biggest set of the first half about to come your way.
Yeah, reward for effort here. Billy Slater earns his side a penalty. One of the great competitors of the modern day. And we see there. I think it's Kindhorst who comes in, runs Slater off the ball, and now Cameron Smith just slowing things down here. Going to look to take it out to an 8-point lead. He is. And it's the reason why they're so good. I mean, look at the intensity of their coach and the direction that he gives them.
And up he gets. 5 and a bit minutes away from half-time. Welcome back to Rugby League with one of the great sides, Craig Bellamy, 16th season with the Storm. And this man, Cameron Smith, a record-breaking year last season. Now he's in pursuit of El Masri's points record. He's got the games record. I hope I'm still calling him when he's 50.
Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? You just hope he plays every year. He's fantastic. I mean, tonight it was an assault in the opening 10 minutes from the Leeds Rhinos, but the craftiness of Smith has just got the Storm. And somehow, after this kick, it should be an 8-point lead.
And there it is. 12 points to 4 after they trailed 4-0 early. 4.5 minutes to go in this first half of what has been a A gripping World Club Challenge final. And Rugby League wall-to-wall here on Fox League and NRL 360 Summer Series Monday night. Yvonne Sampson in the host chair alongside of Paul Kent. We will have a live cross to Cameron Smith ahead of his testimonial that you'll see on Fox League on Friday week, or next Friday rather. Cooper Cronk and Boyd Cordner are in the studio, and Ben Eichen will catch up with Raiders coach Ricky Stewart. That's on NRL 360, our Summer Series, Monday at 7:30. Now Cameron Smith, Hoffman, back in a purple jumper after 3 years at the Warriors. And across to Smith. We've seen him as a first receiver a number of times tonight. Croft a little wider, out for Chambers. Hall in off his wing. 12-4. The Rhinos, I reckon they could live with that.
Yeah.
Another score, that would be disappointing. Now Croft.
All good.
In a couple of minds there. Puts it on the deck. And Sutcliffe comes up with the ball. So Rhinos back in possession. And they need some big charges now from the big winger Hall.
You won it, marker.
And Jared Sutton there say Vunivalu, the man penalised there, not square at marker. Jared Sutton all over those ruck infringements at the moment. We see 4 penalties apiece in the opening half. Myler kicking for touch. You're spot on, Andrew. I think 12 points to 4. They'll be exceptional. They'll be really happy with that, the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, they get in the sheds and then try and start how they started at kickoff. Score the first points of the second half. This is Dwyer taking off. First year with the Rhinos.
He's come on for Parcell, who certainly tested the Melbourne Storm in the opening 37 minutes around the ruck. And again there we see Dwyer out of acting half.
The Warrington player. He's up to it. Now Myler. And out the back for Moon. Off the left foot. Slater. Ooh, it almost got away from him. Now Billy Slater's away from the defence. And back to the field of play, but oh gee, was he clipped? He fell. He's a little slow back to his feet. I don't know whether it's shoulder. I think it might be shoulder that's the problem with Billy there rather than the leg. Smith, yeah, it's definitely the shoulder for Billy out the back. He played the one game in 2016, as we know. And then the comeback year last season ends with grand final and World Cup glory. Bromwich copped one in the eye. Now his brother Kenny. Croft, that looked forward to Slater. They say play on, over the top then to Kenny Bromwich. He's up. Delaney's got him. 35 from the line. Melbourne, they've got them short here. Kafusi, Croft for Vunivalu. Watch his dancing feet. Watch him go. Suliasi Vunivalu has got his first 4-pointer of 2018. And apologies to the Rhinos, but may there be plenty more to come.
Well, the Melbourne faithful, they get straight on their feet every time Vunivalu or Addo-Carr touch the football. Beautiful play. Look at that ball from Kafusi to Croft. Straight inside. Vunivalu beats 2, 3, 4. Slices straight through. And the Melbourne Storm put a nail in the coffin right in half-time. Look at this from Croft. Inside beats 1, 2, 3, 4 and accelerates straight through the attempted tackle of Cuthbertson. And the Melbourne Storm now with a very, very handy lead heading into half-time.
Well, Suliasi, he needed an off-season after the World Cup because he was tired of scoring tries. He got his 23 with the Storm last year. He got to the World Cup, scored 2 hat-tricks in the 3 pool games and a double. Scored 8 in the first 3 games for Fiji. What an entertainer. What an athlete. What a story. And now he's got a World Club Challenge try to add to his growing scrapbook of highlights.
It's been a superb 24 months for Suliasi Vunivalu. We mentioned the premiership last season, 23 tries, and 2018 he has hit the ground running already And as we mentioned there, the Melbourne faithful, he has become a cult hero, along with his flank partner in Josh Adokar as Smith in the stroke of half-time.
Well, terrific first 40 minutes, and the icing on the cake for the first 40 for the Storm. It's a 14-point lead. Melbourne 18, the Leeds Rhinos 4.
Thank you very much, Vossi. Two worlds colliding at Amy Park. The NRL up against the Super League. Mark Gasnier, Sam Burgess and Danny Badiris. The boys are not holding back. This is a physical contest.
Oh, it's been amazing. I think the first 20 minutes really set the tone for the game. I think Brad Singleton, Cuthbertson came out firing for Leeds, and I think Storm were a little bit rattled. I think they didn't expect Leeds to be as physical or as good, and they've been good with the ball. They've completed quite well, and disappointing try, I think, for Leeds there at the end. Just maybe a bit of fatigue and a couple of slack penalties at the end of let Melbourne take a 14-point lead, I think.
It was game on. That's just big shoulder charge, and it really set the tone for the first half.
Absolutely. The first time I think
how good.
Leeds are dominating the ruck. I think they've beaten them to the punch around the ruck, which would be, that would be not good for the Melbourne Storm because they pride themselves on that. But the way they're getting around, they're giving Melbourne different looks. So they're getting something different than what they're used to. That's a big body slam there from Big Singo.
I think Singo would have come into this game, Singleton, and thought, I'm going to give a penalty away. He said, I don't care. I'm going to let everyone know I'm here to play physical. You look at him, he's probably saying it there. And the coach, well, I think if anyone can understand him, I can. I understood him. See, I understood exactly what he's saying. But I think he would... Listen, it's great. What a game. I mean, considering it's the first game for Melbourne as a team and... You know, Leeds have travelled, short preparation. What a game of rugby league we've seen tonight.
It takes a lot to stop a colossus like Nelson Asofa Solomoto. All right, after the break, we're going to have all the highlights of this 2018 World Club Challenge right here on Fox League. The undeniable powerhouse that is the Melbourne Storm, they demanded that tonight's international showpiece be played on their home turf. So the Super League champions are in Australia on a rare trip down under, really taking it to our NRL premiers. The best of the best on show tonight here at Fox League for the World Club Challenge. The Melbourne Storm up against Leeds Rhino. The halftime score 18-4. Our international experts, Mark Gasnier, Sam Burgess and Danny Badiris. Gents, for everyone who's been craving a bit of footy for the last few months, is this satisfying, the quality of this game so far? I know we had a late try right at the death to blow this scoreline out a little bit, but how good's the footy been?
It's been quality, Vonnie. Like, it was very physically early from Leeds, but then you can't underestimate their skill. They've moved the Melbourne Storm around. They've had great variety. They've gone down short sides. They're prepared to shift to move the Storm defence around, and the Storm were kind of caught off guard a little bit. A couple of uncharacteristic errors from Melbourne Storm, but you can see the good signs. A couple of early shifts to Will Chambers off the back of offloads. They're little things that they keep improving in their game that keeps them at the top.
Well, let's get stuck into these first half highlights. Danny, it was inside the first 10 minutes, Leeds. They're the first ones across. I think that caught everyone off guard a little.
Well, it sure did. And they've looked like they've been playing together for a couple of weeks, which they have. They've had 2 games under their belt, and you know the hard fields don't usually come to Leeds sort of at late March, and they really enjoyed playing on a real fast track. And Stevie Ward with a little no-looks pass there on the short side, really attacking Croft's edge, and they really posed a question to him just down here, just caught him on his heels a bit with Vunivalu, and you're not going to stop Ryan Hall one-on-one. That's why he scored 200-plus tries.
Again, last play. You know, so Melbourne Storm are so good at, you know, predicting other teams that they're a step ahead. OK, they'll kick back to the post. Billy Slater's there. Vunivalu's covering in behind, whereas they sweep down the short side, catch them off guard and play. And I think that's been a feature of the Rhinos game.
It was a real treat for the fans too. All those fans there get off the mark there. So they're having a great time there.
No, so good to see. Now, the Storm's first points came off a really nice little short ball from Brodie Croft.
I just love the way they've played. They set up a similar structure, and Brodie Croft, you know, yes, he's a clone of Cooper Cronk, but you still need the brains to do it. You see when he straightens here, he's got Parcell. He posts Parcell. You've got Ablett and Moon. Moon naturally wants to slide, but you can see by Croft going straight and to the line, they cannot slide. Otherwise, that player can slide off and defend Jesse Bromwich because he goes to the line, takes a bump, sits on his backside, And then it sets up plays like this. I wouldn't be surprised if that play before, they didn't want to score off it. If they scored, it was a bonus. But it was to set up plays like this. And don't be surprised the next time you see it, they'll go out the back to Billy Slater, because naturally, as a defender, if you are Moon, Ablett or Parcell, you're thinking, oh my God, what's coming next? They've already showed me up once, they've showed me up again, I've got to be on my game.
The confidence to see Croft back himself and take on the line, so good.
He's very good at isolating people. That's a good trait for a young kid. He knows how to isolate people, and that's great for someone running on his inside and outside.
They're asking questions. That's what I mean. You saw the first clip there where you showed Croft out the line playing square. He's got, I think, Bromwich on his outside, Kafusi on his inside, Slater out the back.
Exactly.
As a defender, you're seeing all that movement and going, all right, okay. And Croft made the right decision. Leeds defender slid off. It's try time, so team effort.
And we almost hit the halftime break, but it was Suliasi Vunivalu. Sammy, if you're Leeds and you saw what he did to them just on the bell, what are they going to do to try and contain him in the second half? Yeah, look, he's just a freak of an athlete. I mean, he gets in some space here and really there's nothing on, but he moves around and finds a gap, beats a few people and scores a try. I mean, we're all so used to seeing him do that in the NRL, let alone, here tonight. I think in the World Cup he scored 10 tries as well, same sort of form. But you see him here, he just finds space. There's nothing really on. A few Leeds players struggling a bit there in backfield. But I think what happened on the other end of the field, Billy Slater got out of the in-goal area, whereas really they should have kept him in there. And it keeps Leeds in the game. So those little 1% things, big difference.
How strong are they to tackle Adokar and Vunivalu? We know they can finish tries, but geez, they look strong, Sammy.
They just generate so much power, Gaz. Their leg speed and their contact in the ground is so strong. At impact, the collision is so aggressive, and they can move and get you off balance. And we saw there, I mean, no one hardly touched him. And he's moving quick. He's 105 kilos. It's tough to stop.
You've got to give it to the Rhinos. They've worked so hard from the inside with their defence, and they're sticking. As I spoke about, I think they're winning the ruck, and that's that's a really big feather in the cap against the Melbourne Storm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Craig Bellamy sends a message out to actually play back through Leeds. Like Bedsy said, they're working really hard from the inside to help their mate defensively because the Storm are trying to go around them. Don't be surprised if they turn the ball back under to go back through the middle, particularly as they tire late in the second half.
I think also we can give Leeds a great credit, Oh,
they've been great.
What's happened here, we've seen 2 late tries. I think there was 4 minutes left in the half when Cameron Smith opted for 2 points to go 8 in front, which was a compliment. Which is a great sign of respect for Leeds, And look, they've been going well. I think just tidy up a little bit of discipline in the second half. Completion rate's been quite well, and I think they need to be a little bit better on their transition as well. When making an error, the ball ends up in Vunivalu's hands or Josh Adokar's hands, and they're shifting and moving, and it's almost from attack to defence. If they can quicken up those few areas, I think it could be an enjoyable second half. Yeah,
looking forward to it. The international action continues tomorrow. We have a double-header. St George Illawarra up against Hull FC, followed by the Rabbitohs and Wigan. All that action live and exclusive right here on Fox League. Matt Shevington and Lara Pitt will be with you for the coverage from 5:30. Well, don't forget, after the break, the second half of the Storm and Leeds Rhinos, 18 points to 4. It is the second half in the 2018 World Club Challenge. The tour of Victoria continues. This is the beautiful Mornington Peninsula, famous for its pristine beaches, wineries and gourmet hinterland, and of course those colourful beach huts. The World Club Challenge made possible by Visit Victoria. 14 points the difference between the Storm and Leeds. Half-time in this World Club Challenge. Mark Gasnier, Sam Burgess, Danny Badiris. We talked a little bit about Leeds coming into this game, but how do you think they've adjusted to the 2 referees? They're saying that it was arrogant of the NRL to drop it on them only yesterday. They had 24 hours to prepare for this, Sam. Do you think that's thrown them off a little bit?
Listen, I don't think it changes too much. If anything, it might make the game flow a little bit better. And I think the referees have been fantastic tonight. We've not really noticed them. They've made good calls, they've made few calls, and it's led to a great game of football. So, look, I think after the game, they'll probably think that all the talk before game is really not had much of an influence on the result.
All right, we are set for the second half at Amy Park. Here are your commentators, Andrew Voss and Michael Ennis.
Yes, and the start of a very big weekend here on Fox League. Even in the month of February in summer, we have Rugby League coming your way. Live Rugby League doubleheader from ANZ tomorrow. Second half right now of the World Club Challenge. Melbourne with more than just their noses in front, courtesy of that try right on half-time.
What a pickup.
And that's quite extraordinary that Sutcliffe almost got that between the ankles. Cuthbertson is stitched up.
Look at that. Oh.
The DRS.
Yeah, the DRS, and have a good look at that. We see an early penalty here going in favour of the Leeds Rhinos.
That helps them get back into it. 18 points to 4. It was Hall who scored the first try of the night off a lovely Stevie Ward pass, but Melbourne warmed up, and that try right on half-time really hurt. Now, Jones Buchanan with it. He is taken back. Oh, that was almost ugly there at one stage for him where he was headed. He had no control of where he would land. Across to Moon, on to Ablett. He's a marvel, Jones Buchanan at 36. Dwyer, centre field with Delaney. I just think first point's imperative for the Rhinos here. I mean, it could get right away from them if their spirit is broken early. Good hands by Moon for Ablett. Chambers and Croft there in defence. Cuthbertson now for Myler. Dumps it off there for Delaney. That's easy for the defence of Welsh. 90 seconds into the second half. Dwyer dummies left and right, and that was not the play. A little more required.
If it's one area of the Rhinos game tonight that's really let them down, it's been their end of sets. They've been enterprising with the football, really chance their arm. Look to expose the Melbourne defensive line from all angles, but their end of sets have been poor. He's like his time over there again, young Dwyer, that's for sure.
I will tell you this, the Rhinos from their last game, this was Slater when he hurt his shoulder in the first half. When you see that left arm extended, Melbourne are going to take no chances. The word we have, Slater will not return for the second half. Bromwich's ball was loose and O'Kara's with it. And I guess whether it's precaution or not, Slater very much in doubt now for the Storm Cowboys next Friday night.
Yeah, well, the rugby league world holds its breath when we talk shoulders, and Billy Slater, he had a wretched run there. So we see Hoffman come up with a uncharacteristic error there in the ruck. And that could be a huge blow for the Melbourne Storm if Billy Slater's unavailable to start the season.
We're off to Perth in round 1 here on Fox League for the doubleheader over there, when Souths play the Warriors and Melbourne due to play the Bulldogs. It'll be our privilege and pleasure to bring you that one live. A big night for rugby league. And you want all your stars to be on deck when you take the game on show like that. Watkins hammered there by Welsh. Big moment there for the Melbourne front rower.
Huge play. Huge play. You mentioned the impact on the Melbourne bench. This is the Slater. Look, his arm is extended and you see all the weight go into that left shoulder. And that is concerning. That is concerning. That when you've got a shoulder injury, it's the most vulnerable position you can be in when your arm's extended and the weight goes into one side like that. Well, let's just pray for Billy Slater and for rugby league fans that arguably the greatest fullback that's ever played our game will be back. We'll be there in round 1 for the Storm, as you mentioned, in Perth.
So the Storm in possession. I was going to say earlier, Leeds on a different class, but they did come back from 10 points down to win their most recent game of the Super League. Asifa Solomona, another fearsome charge. You throw Cassiano into the mix here. What about this forward pack? Starting pack and bench players. How dynamic are the forwards for Melbourne? Penalty. Leeds are now signs of being pushed to the edge of a cliff here. They have to hang on.
And the scary thing for opponents this year facing the likes of Cassiano and Solomona. Solomona's really matured into his body as we see Kafusi inside the 10.
9 metres away. Melbourne 3 tries so far tonight. Smith, Asifa Solomona. Oh, the crowd shook as he caught that ball. Here is Smith. Rhinos took off quick off the goal line. We've got the two Smiths on now. Hoffman and Croft back for Welsh. Net front on by Delaney and Dwyer. Cameron to Jesse Bromwich to Croft. Working for Chambers, loses the ball. And well done, the Rhinos.
An untidy start for both sides. See here, Will Chambers banging on the inside line there. Young Sutcliffe, in fact, it's Kinehorst.
Now, man. The report we're getting on Billy Slater is good. Early prognosis, thinking that it is a jarred shoulder rather than structural muscular damage, and he would have an inkling of the extent of the injury, having had the experience of 18 months of bad luck with the shoulder.
The handy thing for the Storm is you've got Cameron Munster there who's exceptional in the fullback role, and Riley Jacks, who can come in and partner Croft, who was superb on a number of occasions for the Melbourne Storm, so they do have depth in that area. Lovely offload there from Watkins.
He's played a captain's knock tonight for Leeds. Watkins, he's obviously got a roving commission role because he's just popped up everywhere. Cuthbertson there. Melbourne have done their homework on Adam. He's almost been offload free tonight. Dwyer takes off. And flattest the balls, if not forward, to Ablett. And that's a little soft from the Rhinos.
Yeah, he's overplaying his hand at the moment. There's a pressure pass there for Ablett. Again, Dwyer out of acting half, looking to create. And the game's in the balance in 18-4. And you've made a few errors. You need to build the game again. So we see the Leeds fans there singing and chanting. And we see Coach McDermott, he's gone straight to his bench. No doubt he'll bring Parcell back into the action.
I'll give a collective rap for the British supporters who have come out. It's just been outstanding what we saw in Wollongong on Fox League last weekend. The Hull supporters and the Wigan supporters, and now you're seeing all these Leeds supporters. Out they come. Looking forward to tomorrow night. You will be able to watch it here on Fox League, the doubleheader from ANZ.
I'm looking forward to that. I was watching Wigan firsthand down at Shark Park on Wednesday night, and both some really quality players. So it should be a night out there, that's for sure.
Munster, Chambers and Scott, fenned by Curtis Scott. Into Delaney there, and Cuthbertson. Parcell involved in the tackle as well. Still 14 points the difference. Smith always speared a little there by Parcell, and Cameron objects to that. It's a strong tackle. I'll argue the case of Parcell.
It's a penalty, boys. We're back 10.
He got him.
Cameron, be careful. None of that stuff.
Penalty will do.
You got the penalty, none of that.
You don't often see Cameron Smith react like this. It's a lovely shot there. Driving tackle from Parcell, and Smith took a real dislike to it. Now we see Welsh inside the Rhinos' 10-metre line.
And his return has been great tonight. Welsh, Smith, Asafa Salamona. This time the end roll shakes as he forces his way over. He is big everything, and scores a big try there.
Well, again, it's that man Cameron Smith out of acting half. We just saw his blood boil, his frustration with the Parcell tackle, but the ability to bring himself back, compose himself, see the game for what it is, recognises Solomona, one-on-one, impossible to stop that close to the line. Melbourne now capitalise. Look at Coach Craig Bellamy. He knows they've got this in the bag now.
22 points to 4.
It's scary, Vossi. I mean, you mentioned Cassiano. Welsh has been absolutely superb in his return from a knee reconstruction, but Solomona proved the real powerhouse in the 2017 season for the Storm. At times unstoppable, and again, I mean, look how lean he is there. He has matured and grown into his body. And in those positions, one-on-one, it doesn't matter who you come up against. They won't stop him. Exceptional talent.
Well, not that a World Club Challenge should be called an audition, but if I may use that word, this is some audition for the NRL by the Premiers, just showing what they have despite the loss of 3 big names.
It's incredible.
Cronk gone, McLean, an now Australian front rower, Tohu Harris, one of the best New Zealand have gone from this Melbourne side, and they look awesome.
You mentioned Cooper Cronk, and he touches the football more than anyone, along with Cameron Smith in their football team. He orchestrates everything. You take him out and you put a young kid in there, and they, as you said, before a ball's even been kicked, this is a pre-season game. They are incredibly slick tonight since they've clicked into gear.
Now 20 points the difference. And Melbourne ready to charge again. Have a look at Nelson. Boy, oh boy, what a sight. Bromwich on to Ryan Hoffman.
I bet he's happy he's back in the purple. Ryan Hoffman,
34 years of age, gets the return. Addo-Carr sizes up Parcell. Now Kenny Bromwich. How fit do they look now, the Melbourne players?
Yeah.
Fit and strong. Bromwich, Welsh with it. He doesn't offload effectively that time. It popped up on him as well to clean up, but it'll go down as an error. He's been great for them.
He's been superb, and you don't want to take that away from him. Yep, he deserves to be frustrated that he didn't get it right that time, but 9 out of 10 times he has, and he's caused all sorts of problems. He caused us huge headaches in the 2016 grand final when he came on, set up the play that led to Will Chambers' try and got them back in the game, got them in front. And his return tonight from not just any old injury, an ACL injury, superb.
Melbourne fans have seen Vunivalu try. They still wait for the Fox. And now Titanhorst with the ball. Need a bit to go their way here. The Rhinos, a penalty would help get them down Melbourne's end. Singleton caught up there. He's been an honest performer tonight. Almond Droid with the ball. Up and over halfway. Welsh in the defence. This is Myler. And on it comes with Sutcliffe. And he got through the front line. And the best he can at fullback with injury to young Walker. Now Myler. Deft kick. And Munster all over it.
There wasn't a great intercept again there from Richie Myler. It's a lovely play down that right-hand side where Sutcliffe almost found himself in open space. We see Addo-Carr, Vunivalu looking busy.
Yes, I'm sure there are some Leeds fans just thinking, I wonder if Danny Maguire could have played one more game for us. You would have seen him playing his trade this morning on Fox League for Hull KR in their victory over Catalans, but, you know, a 15-year man, if he could have had one last game. Now Munster. Caught by Myler. Kenny Bromwich for Croft. Kicks high for the corner. I think the chasers are onside. And the kicker there to put them onside in any case. So 26.5 minutes to go. And a bit of adventure from their own 20 there. Ended up with Kinehorst. Hall just passing there to Moon. Hall was the man who lifted them last week in the Super League. Some big runs from inside their own half. Haven't really seen that tonight. Now for Ablett. And Melbourne just eating this up at the moment. Leeds down a little on energy. 20 points down. Singleton caught by Brandon Smith. Bromwich there as well. Last tackle, the Rhinos. And Moon off the left foot. Vunivalu's got it covered. I don't think he'll jump into the defence. He just takes it back up to the 30. And And Hall, the defender. Hasn't quite been the battle we were all hoping for, Vunivalu versus Hall. Although we did see Hall get one up on Siliasi in the opening minutes with that first try. And now on for Brandon Smith. Cameron to Brandon. The young Kiwi scooped up there by Cameron for Croft. And propping off his right foot. That's been touched by the Rhinos. Play on. Smith and Bromwich. 20 metres out. Bromwich sprinting and caught by Watkins. It was a gallop from Jesse Bromwich. His brother Kenny back to Cameron. On to Brandon Smith. 11 from the line. Still 20 points the difference. And a penalty. Mr. Singleton unhappy.
Young Brandon Smith that you've seen come on, he's been earmarked as a replacement for the great Cameron Smith. Craig Bellamy wants to get him time in the middle, and he's out there now in the lock position, roving in that centre third of the field with Cameron. And already we've seen both Smith play to Smith on a number of occasions now.
So we've got the full complement out there, and straight away the defence almost caught napping with the hard charge by Glasby. Smith had a little look up at the line. Croft is ready. Kafusi weaves his way through off a Brodie Croft pass. He scored one. He's got 2 try assists. I say this with a very politely and with tongue planted in cheek. Cooper who? Brodie Croft, fantastic.
Look at the sleight of hand here in the vision from Brodie Croft. And Kafusi, for me, is the most improved player in the competition. Look at this. Watch his eyes here. Croft isolates Joel Moon, knows that he likes to slide. Kafusi running a beautiful line inside out. And as we saw that combination develop between Cronk and Kafusi, now it's Croft and Kafusi. Kafusi will play State of Origin this year. He will force his way into that Queensland side. As I said, he is the most improved player in the competition. He went from being a 20-30 minute interchange player for the Storm to the form 80-minute back row of the competition.
First 9 games last year, he played the full 80. As you said,
Incredible.
went from 20-30 minute player to a full 80 in an off-season. Rewarded with World Cup selections. Got a lot of tries off Billy Slater last year as well. It was part of the dynamic in the attack for Melbourne. And I know it's different opposition that we're seeing here tonight, but I'll say this about Melbourne. They're every bit as entertaining as what we saw last year.
Absolutely.
In attack.
I was interested to see as we see Cameron Smith line up the conversion here. 28 points to 4 with a kick to come.
Hit the post with his first kick of the night from the same position. And this one, he sprayed out to the side of the post.
I was intrigued to see whether they just gave young Croft minimal football tonight, and that the combination between Munster and Cameron Smith that had already developed for 18 months. This is the replay here. This is his first one where he squares up the defensive line and isolates defenders beautifully. Beautiful tempo as he goes on. Look here, Smith holds it up. He steadies himself. It's sensational. It's incredible ball playing. As we see the Leeds Rhinos all of a sudden.
Sutcliffe comes up with a ball, and good on him for trying it was the mid-range short kickoff with the height on it. Gives them a chance at 28-4. Their fans who have come out will stay right behind their team tonight. Parcell, Singleton, not too many were able to lower the colours of Melbourne last year. Now Parcell, and Myler out the back to Moon. A little bit of trouble looming there. He did well to hang on to it. It was a good decision. Parcell back towards the posts. James Buchanan with the ball. 5 away. How will the Melbourne defence hold up here? Parcell again. Asks a question on the last tackle.
Okay, with me.
Cameron Smith all smiles. He's loving it. At 28-4, Melbourne back in possession.
He's really tried to ignite the Leeds Rhinos tonight as Parcell. 22 tries last season in the Super League out of acting half. A phenomenal strike rate for a dummy half. But the Melbourne Storm, they've done their homework. They know what he's capable of. And they handled that one with ease.
Across to Glasby.
Beautiful.
There's Finucane offloaded. Cuthbertson comes up with it. Kindhorst might have got his hand to that one to knock it back. Watkins with the ball. Caught by Scott. I'll say this about some of the English internationals I'm seeing, and Watkins is one of them, and what I've seen from the likes of Johnny Lomax at St Helens, Wayne Bennett, his influence at the test level has made them better players. Now I'm watching them. It's the best I've ever seen Watkins go at the World Cup, and what I'm seeing tonight and what I've seen from Lomax back at St Helens now. And Wayne Bennett going to be on deck for another couple of years as England coach. It's going to be a good thing for their star players, and I'm sure Sam Burgess can add to that post game here tonight on Fox League. Here's Watkins with it. He stands up. Scott offloads back, and now Briscoe, a man of limited opportunities tonight, almost over. He was caught by Brandon Smith. Moon's kick, Munster. Oh, and then he's hit across the chops by Moon. Munster gets up and goes again. There's the Fox. Addo
Shut the gate.
Oh, Michael
called
Leonard,
it too early.
What gate, you idiot? What gate is that? Now Vernavalu. We're all a bit rusty even in commentary. You should have called that in German, Mick. It was better. Shut the gate. Smith. Glasby. Inside the 20 he goes. Crowd went up as Addo got the ball. Now Smith. And that time Scott, they've held on to him. Still 2 to go. Smith with it. And in front of Munster. Oh, that's most un-Melbourne-like there. And Ablett comes up with the ball.
You see Ryan Hall there on his haunches. Cuthbertson now with the football. Oh, beautiful ball there.
That was Cuthbertson at his very best, offloading to Sutcliffe. By the way, overall possession, Leeds have only had 46% of the ball, and they are tiring. They've got to find some reserves of energy here in attack, and now Myler's been caught high.
Wait there.
By Glasby.
Yeah, we won't go on a penalty.
Thinking about the drinks break, we've gone past it. Now we're 22 minutes into the second half, and they're still trying to force that break.
All right, first one.
And Leeds wouldn't want one at the start of a set. So resumption of play with Ablett at Kafusi and Chambers. He's toiled hard tonight. Carl Ablett. As Myler fires it across. Moon on to Jones Buchanan. 10 from the line. Now Parcell. Cuthbertson. Good footwork. End offload. Parcell with it. And caught by Hoffman and Glasby. Cuthbertson. For Moon. Right across the 10-metre line. Melbourne defence. No panic. Kindhorst with it now. Back in field he goes. Links up there with Parcell. Myler, maybe overlap. Oh, Sutcliffe decided to kick. And Melbourne have the ball possibly through their hands was the way to go. But the kick came into play and Melbourne have it. And now he's lost it. Oh, well. Penalty the call.
Stay there, Benny.
And what we're going to do with the drinks break now.
Yeah, when we get a stoppage.
There you go. They're all asking about it. Smith on to Hoffman. I wonder if there is a point of no return. If we get down to 14 to go, do you bother? Do you play on? Smith. Oh, there you go. I reckon they'll call knock on there. And no, they won't. I thought they might have just forced one just to get the drinks out there.
Might have just thrown that down there.
Waiter. Twist a lemon in mine, thanks. Here's Cameron Smith. Back away to Croft. On to Munster. Match has gone down just a little head, or just a cog or two at the moment. On halfway, Cameron Smith will kick for position. He's put the hook on it. Cameron's thinking drink. Touch and goal. Now we'll get the drinks break at 28-4 with 16 minutes to go. We need to talk about Billy Slater, just recapping what happened with Billy late in that first half in diving back from the in goal to the field of play. Shoulder injury not cited now in the second half. We are being told that it's a jarred shoulder rather than anything of a more serious note. But certainly the more you watch the replay, you certainly have grave concerns, don't you?
Well, that's what you see. It's the most uncomfortable position you can be in when you don't have a stable shoulder. When the arm's out, you're on a slippery ground, it slides from under you, and all that weight goes into the point of your shoulder. It can come out, and that's the danger sign. But we're hearing great news with him. Fingers crossed for Billy Slater, because he is a big part of next Friday night.
Yeah, a night with JT and Cameron Smith coming up here on Fox League next Friday night, live from Suncorp Stadium. Two modern-day living legends honoured there on the night, and the last hit out before season proper for the two clubs. Cowboys, by the way, among many trials being played tomorrow night. Good luck to all those up in Cairns, up at Barlow Park. The Tigers versus the Cowboys. Matt Scott back on deck, JT back on deck. The likes of Tao Malolo and Morgan, Jordan McLean all being rested by the Cowboys for that one. With a host of matches, Manly and Cronulla and Penrith against the Roosters. And we'll have those two games for you tomorrow night. Dragons and Hull FC from ANZ, and Rabbitohs against Wigan in the doubleheader. And Jones Buchanan, he was unhappy with all of that. Slammed the ball down to play it. Briscoe there. Cuthbertson. I keep thinking Ryan Hall's going to come in here and take a big hit up. Was it a foghorn? Some sort of megaphone out there. Where are you, Ryan? Come in, take a run. He's as big as any of the forwards there. They need him at the moment. Parcell on to Myler, Ablett, Kindhorse. Here he is, Hall with it. Croft, Vunivalu, Finucane, all there on him. And then stripped of the ball.
Wait.
15 and a half to go. That was the last tackle as well. Ablett in search of a try. Kafusi lays on him. Kindhorse there. Myler, centre field.
Good shot there. Brandon Smith, one-on-one.
The front rower, Singleton felt it. Parcell with the ball. And Myler, Moon and Jones Buchanan. That would be some story to score in his 7th World Club Challenge final. He was finished high school when Curtis Scott was just starting, or just born. Singleton, Kafusi, a try saver. Around the legs, Cuthbertson, Moon tips. Myler! He's almost knocked back to a curry house in Leeds by Vunivalu. Last tackle. I'm hungry. Kick over the top, and Munster diffuses for a 20-metre restart.
Suliasi Vunivalu. Contact on kicker.
Contact on kicker. This is the beautiful ball there from Moon. The Singleton, who try-saving tackle. And this was the shot from Vunivalu. Absolutely cut Richie Myler in half. He did well to hang on to it, little Myler. And then we saw Vunivalu penalised for his tackle on the kicker. And now Cuthbertson, inside ball there.
Little run of possession. If this defence holds on, this will probably please Craig Bellamy most of anything tonight. Back-to-back sets having to defend. Cuthbertson back to Myler. On it comes for Watkins. This time it's Adokar. Shutting it down with Smith. 5 from the line. Out of dummy half goes Sutcliffe. Doesn't get over. Hoffman, Smith, Scott all there. Watkins back for Myler. Kicks on the third. Off the upright. Oh, Cuthbertson thought he was going to score for certain. The big padding got in the way. Chambers back with it for Melbourne. I know they're being beaten 28-4, but boy, the Rhinos are having a dig. Now Brandon Smith on to Scott. Kafusi off he goes. He's done his work. 31 tackles in the workload tonight of Kafusi. That's top of the count for Melbourne. Back for Cameron Smith. Time to kick. I'll give a rap to this bloke too. Sutcliffe, he's had to fill in at fullback. Across to Hall. There's Chambers and Nasifa Solomona on him. Kindhorst. Okay, commentator Michael Ennis just shook his head when Nasifa Solomona came in. Michael's thinking it's good to be retired.
Oh, absolutely. He's absolutely just... He's physically dominated them tonight, Solomona.
I'm watching Melbourne these last few minutes. It looks like they're hitting harder. It's almost as if they've set themselves a challenge now for the last 20. Let's show everyone what we've been doing in off-season training. Look at this. Finishing off Parcell there. They're not just making tackles at the moment. Cross to Moon. Out in front of Cuthbertson. Watkins with it. On for Briscoe. And 3 there again. The cross on the wing. Cameron Smith would have thought penalty there. Back for Moon. Tries a chip. Here is Myler. Couldn't gather it in. And you see that was the front row putting pressure on him. Munster brings it back. But Welsh put the pressure on Myler on the chip over the top.
Yeah, nice little play there from Myler. Unable to regather as we see Addo-Carr looking lively through the middle there. I agree with you, Andrew. I think you see with sides these days, they do so much scrimmage against one another over the summer, but not always at 100% contact. And Melbourne looked like they were in that mode in the opening 5 to 10 minutes. But boy, if they pick up their intensity as we see Munster.
Off a Cameron Smith inside ball with Brandon as dummy half. Melbourne maybe closing in on their 6th try of the night. Here's Cameron. Back he goes. Lottery ball fielded by Hoffman. Back to Croft. Croft is going to kick. There's a touch of Cronk about that. Out towards Vunivalu. It's alive for Chambers. Boy, is it alive for Will Chambers. It's a little gift he gets. Well, just check if Suliasi touched it.
Tackle 6, last tackle. I have a try. Just confirm that it goes back off Melbourne, please.
Tell you what, Benny Cummins, hasn't he had a nice haircut over the summer? Here we see Brodie Croft isolates Ryan Hall one-on-one.
Right kick chase is onside.
He's
going through to the
onside.
contest.
There's that contest you're after, Vossi. One-on-one, Vunivalu and Hall.
Oh, well. There's 3 hands in it. 2 belong to Suliasi, 1 to Hall, and Hall's right hand doesn't quite get the height that the left does.
Just looking to determine which way the ball goes after touching Suli Vunivalu.
I don't know if it matters. I'm sure it goes backwards.
It's a fair leap, isn't it, when you see it from that angle?
It goes backwards. We see on the replay there. It's a try for all money for Will Chambers.
Based on this camera here, the ball touches Suli Vunivalu and goes backwards from the point of where it is touched. We're playing on from here.
Bounces up for Chambers. Stays in the field of play. TRY,
Will Chambers grounds the ball in the in-goal area.
On the words of Benny Elias, TRI. It should be a 4-pointer to Will Chambers. And their hands are well and truly around the World Club Challenge Trophy now. They're into the 30s. With 12 minutes to go, Chambers puts his name on the score sheet. You Melbourne fans, you're in for a good season. They're a wonderful side to watch. And again, Croft is involved in the try.
Yeah, well, it was frantic. Yeah, the ball came out the back. It was a loose pass from Cameron Smith. Hoffman picked it up, but he composed himself. Young Croft. Pinpoint kick for Vunivalu. Great contest. And that man there, Will Chambers, he's been superb tonight. One of the best centres in our competition here in Australia in the National Rugby League. And there is the young superstar in Croft. Another superb piece of play from him tonight. And what a start to 2018 for young Croft and that man Vunivalu.
Well, can he keep up the try-scoring rate? He will start the NRL season, Suliasi, at 46 tries from 47 games. The most tries by any player in Australian Premiership history in their first 2 seasons. Hasn't just beaten the record of the likes of the great Reg Gasnier, the immortal Reg Gasnier. He smashed it by 8. He's got 8 more tries than
phenomenal
the previous best, and Larry Corowa and those try-scoring greats. Smith now with another kick, and his 3rd miss of the night. Doesn't seem to be any sign that Cameron's going to be rested for his big night next Friday either at this stage, although having said that...
There you go, Andrew.
There you go.
It's like shut the gate on that O'Car.
It's great to be back with the boys. There's tight bonding.
Rust.
We don't put you-know-what on each other.
Superb knock. Superb knock.
Just be ready the other side there.
Yeah, and he gets the recognition from his teammates with some of the big guns there sitting on the bench for the Storm, and Bromwich, Kafusi, and joined by one of the greats, Cameron Smith.
They try the short one. It's broken the plane. Big bat back there by Moon, and straight on to Glasby of all people. 32-4. We go into the last 10 minutes. If Melbourne get a rush of possession, it could get real ugly. Looking at their intent, this is a team that is not coasting to the line by any stretch.
Yeah, well, through fatigue, we saw the Leeds Rhinos early on, plenty of energy, moving the football around, but as they've fatigued, they fall into those one-out runs. Another nice offload there from Welsh back to Smith, Brandon Smith, and they've played into Melbourne's hands. The Storm on the attack.
There's Croft again. Munster has been more dynamic since moving to fullback.
Absolutely.
Back for Brandon Smith. Asifa Solomona. Kinehorst got him. Brandon Smith straightens up. Glasby. Croft again. Croft steadied up. Was forced into running there. Took the tackle of Jones Buchanan. Gee, there's a few head bandaged out there for Leeds. And Hoffman on the last tackle.
Here it is.
Almost getting over to score on his return for Melbourne. And Briscoe, I said earlier, a few opportunities for him on the right wing. Now Watkins. He's had 16 carries of the football tonight, Watkins. It's more than anyone in their side.
You look at the Storm, Andrew. You mentioned defensive energy and intent. They've compressed their defensive line.
Cuthbertson and Moon, and across the hall. Got to fend on Croft. Offloaded. Droid won't be able to offload in the Asifa Solomona tackle. As Leeds work the ball out from their 30. A reminder about the NRL 360 Summer Series. Error by the Rhinos. Yvonne Sampson in the chair on Monday night with Keddy. A live cross to Cameron Smith ahead of his testimonial. Plus Cooper Cronk and Boyd Cordner there in the studio. Ben Eichen also catches up with Raiders coach Ricky Stewart. So a big show on Monday night. And the nights will just get bigger right here on Fox League in 2018 with the season proper just around the corner.
It'll be hard for the fans. Wetting their whisker this weekend with so much rugby league, and then next weekend we get that testimonial game up there in up at Suncorp Stadium in the Charity Shield out at Mudgee.
Well, I make no apology for it. I mean, I've watched rugby league all my life. This is the best pre-season we've ever seen on television. I know I'm working for Fox League, but you're getting so much of it pre-season. It's fantastic.
Oh, look at this.
Back it goes at O'Car. 8 metres away from the line. Now Brandon Smith. On it comes for Glasby. Another try beckons for Melbourne. The big purple men are ready to go over. Brandon Smith for Croft. Inside for Welsh. That would certainly mark the comeback with a try. Brandon Smith, quick pass, and well done, Rhinos! Watkins! Don't worry about the big purple man! The man in yellow and blue is Watkins, chased down by Addo-Carr. Sensational stuff. Rhinos, where are they getting this energy from? Kindhorst back with it.
Look at Welsh.
And have a go at the front rower. He's run 80 metres back to make the tackle. Moon with the ball. Then for Dwyer. And Kindhorst, well, he may have dropped it. The crowd thought so. And the German international is tackled by Glasby. 15 away from the line. 6 minutes to go. There's real pride in the Melbourne defence. Now for Delaney. Hoffman. Kenny Bromwich. Across field. Leeds a chance for their second try. Cuthbertson now. Another offload. James Buchanan. He'll be called to play it. It is the last. They're 5 out. Across to Myler. Nice ball there for Big Hall. He may have lost it rather than offload it. And that is the way they called it. Yeah, good on you, love.
Get off him, she said. Oh, the passionate support. They've come a long way to support their side here, Leeds, tonight, and they've thrown plenty at the Melbourne Storm. The scoreline doesn't reflect that, but they've been gallant. They've moved the football. The Storm have just simply outclassed them in a lot of key moments.
Back in Leeds, the Rhinos with Headingley being worked on. They were back at Elland Road last week. Scene of that famous series decider way back in 1990, Kangaroos and Great Britain. So you're going to see the Super League on Fox League right throughout 2018. Make sure you're up early Friday and Saturday mornings and into the night on Saturday nights. All the big rugby league right here. Now Brandon Smith.
He's been good. He's been good since he's moved to acting half.
Now Munster and Finucane are off down the left. Good defence, the Rhinos. They scramble again. Myler across there with Watkins. Here is Scott kicking over the top, but a drop ball at the back. He's tried his heart out though. Yes. Sutcliffe having to fill in at fullback. That was a big loss too. Jack Walker off in the first half for the Rhinos. Leeds born and bred Liam Sutcliffe.
The effort here from Josh Addo-Carr. He just reeled in Callum Watkins, which is no mean feat in itself. Beautiful grassing tackle. Been terrific tonight, the wingers for the Melbourne Storm. So too has Watkins for his side, and a great skipper's knock. You see 120 metres in his first outing carrying the football. Josh Addo-Carr looks likely for a tremendous 2018.
Talking about the likes of Kafusi playing Origin for Queensland. What about Addo-Carr in a blue jersey? Munster onto Asafa Solomona. He's offloaded. Back to Munster. Here go Melbourne. Munster hit from all sides there. Still the effort put in by the Rhinos. 3 to go. Vunivalu. Got to be a try for Addo-Carr somewhere, hasn't there? It's coming his way now. Glasby's with it. Glasby soldiers forward, postmats, Yvonne, Sam Burgess, Mark Gazdia, Danny Badiris to talk all things tonight and our big weekend. And there's the ball down from one of the grand final try scorers.
Have tackle 3.
Dale Finucane. He scored.
Make sure Dale Finucane does not lose possession of that ball and getting it to ground, please.
And the Melbourne march looks to have continued. I just want to check it that he didn't bobble it into the clutches of a Leeds player here.
Finucane maintains possession through the process here. He still has possession of the ball. He still has possession. The ball has not touched the ground yet.
There it is.
And we have a grounding just here.
right there. It's been superb tonight for Nukin.
We have a decision going to the board.
Must be right on Brad Fittler's radar to make his Origin debut this year. A tremendous acquisition for the Melbourne Storm since coming there from the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. As we see a try come up. And Brandon Smith, brilliant vision, recognises a nice quick play the ball close to the line, and Finucane, as he always does for Cameron Smith this time, coming back into that near post. Finucane spins, rolls, gets the football down, and caps off what's been a tremendous night for the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, look, if everyone was fit, and this is just a little side issue, have a look at your Melbourne Storm playing squad. If Australia was playing New Zealand tomorrow, Melbourne could probably provide 10 players for the test match across the two nations. When you look at the Kiwi contingent, Munster will take the kick. Nice and steady. With 2.5 to go. And I think they're going to say, that's it. I can't explain what happened there. They're coming out to say that will be end of the show at 38-4. It's ended up a bit of a demolition job for Melbourne. They are the World Club champions. You can call it a Grand Slam. 2017 into 2018. Full time. Melbourne 38. The Leeds Rhinos 4.
Thank you very much, Vossi. A bizarre end to the World Club Challenge. We're not even going to go to full time. Is it a mercy rule? Mark Gaznia, Sam Burgess, David, have you ever seen anything like that?
Sammy, does that go in the Super League? What's the go there?
I will just clear this up right now. English people do never give in. So there would not have been a mercy rule from the Leeds Rhinos players. I can guarantee you that. I think maybe the clocks might have messed up or something.
That's bizarre.
That is
First
bizarre,
game of the
isn't it?
season, I mean, yeah, it's okay.
What a game, though. That was a good game.
It's like.
You know, for first hit out of the season, I know Leeds had played 2 games already. Melbourne Storm had that little hit out against the Knights. Leeds, I thought, were really good. 35 minutes, they put it together, moved them around, were quite creative. For the Melbourne Storm, though, they just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, when you're talking about a proper pack, working as a unit, Melbourne Storm just do it so well. Welsh, what a return for him.
Yeah,
he's going to add so much to the team this
Croft,
year.
brilliant.
Asafa Solomona. Yeah. Like the middles, they're just relentless.
Their drive, their hunger, their control of the game for the Storm, it just hasn't gone anywhere. 38-4, the final score at Amy Park. A great victory for the Storm. They are the world champions. But the big news is Billy Slater. He missed that entire second half. The club released a statement saying it was purely precautionary, that he didn't take part. But it is that same shoulder that saw him miss almost 2 years of football. How much concern should they be surrounding Billy Slater at the moment?
I mean, look, obviously that's a terrible position to land in, especially on a shoulder that you've had recent surgery.
Sammy, you've had 4 shoulder reconstructions. Do you reckon he's...
Oh, yeah, I mean, listen, that's a tough spot to be in. Your shoulder there, it's very weakest point, and your full body weight going through it on a wet surface. Look, the issue is going to be whether the shoulder's subluxed or not, or actually popped out, because if it has, there's going to be some damage in there now.
One of those ones. Do you still strap it 12 months later? You know what I mean? After having that break, and does he loosen up his mentality a little bit? Hopefully, he still went through the precaution to get it strapped during the game. You know,
I think also I think you can strap it, Danny, but that force it's going to just rip the strapping anyway. The strapping should stop. Minor, but he's fully outstretched on the surface. It's a tough spot.
And he didn't have one of the... You can actually get a strap that stops your shoulder going past the parallel, which is what generally you wear when you come back from a reconstruction, and he didn't have that on because he's 12 months out, and it is hard to catch bombs. But look, let's hope the Melbourne Storm are correct in their diagnosis, and it is precautionary, and he is okay because, you know, the first time Billy did it from memory, it was in that motion. The second time was contact, it was catching a high ball, but the first time was that. So fingers crossed for the Melbourne Storm and Billy Slater.
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, Gaz, it was a terrific game to watch. The first half, Leeds Rhinos, they certainly came to play, and they were going to take it to the NRL Premiers. And Sammy, they were the first ones across the line. Yeah,
look, they came out really hot in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game, and we saw here a great little play down the short side. I think prior to that they'd gone down 2 or 3 times, but we see Croft took control. They got a few opportunities in Leeds half, and in their 20, and you know, they took both opportunities, set one up and scored one himself.
what a job he does, Croft, because he goes relatively unnoticed, but his passing is silky smooth. You know, he was involved in pretty much every play. Suliasi Vunivalu, he just looks like he's going to go on leaps and bounds and pick up where he left off last year. That can be said for Addo Carr as well. How many times do they combine? For a wing-wing
combination.
It's a combination.
But I love, whenever Melbourne's under pressure or they go close to the line, they always pass short.
They do.
And that's what makes a good team, because you're always asking questions. If you pass short, running at space and running at speed, always going to get a try.
I think the thing is, we're watching here, all options are open. I think this is obviously a bit of ad-lib football, a bit of scrappy try, but look, Croft again puts the kick cross field, and it's a competition in the air. Vunivalu again, the ball spills out and Chambers picks up the pieces and 4 points.
The scoreline didn't reflect the game it was. You know, Leeds got a bit scrappy in the second half in regards to their ball control. They knew they had to push passes and try some things if they were to come back and test the Melbourne Storm. And when you give Melbourne Storm that much possession, scoreline's generally going to end up that way.
It is full credit to Melbourne, though. I mean, you know, to say it's the first game as the full-strength squad of the year, and to be that ruthless in performance in terms of not really giving any opportunity to Leeds to get in the game other than the first 10, 15 minutes, it's a great achievement.
Brendan Smith looked good off the bench, Bedsy. Do you think he'll play a role and Cameron Smith will play less minutes this year, or he'll come on at lock like he did tonight?
Yeah, I think he'll come on at lock, and then what you can do, you can give Smithy a bit of a rest. You can just put him out the back for a bit and let Brandon Smith do a little bit around the dummy half area. So that will be a good ploy for them. They got Riley Jacks there that's been doing a bit of hookering position as well. But yeah, they've got so many weapons at their disposal.
I thought Smith was good defensively. Brendan Smith through the middle.
Oh, he can hit.
Hit under the ball. It was aggressive, and I did like the sound of Cameron Smith having a little rest, though. That could be all right. When we play the Melbourne Storm, that'd be nice. Smithy, have a little break.
We talked before kick-off about the significance of this game and the confidence that Brodie Croft would take out of it. Now that we're at the 80-minute mark, or nearly 80 minutes, what's the report card for Croft?
A++. Well, you know, what he did tonight, he controlled the team. Cameron Smith helped him out in patches to get him back onto certain parts of the field. But he's just such a composed head for his age. You know, off the back of offloads, Cameron Smith went to Brodie Croft. He went straight to Will Chambers. He knows his team's strengths really well. He doesn't try to overplay his hand. He goes to the line. He plays straight. He plays direct. He kicks when need be. He takes pressure off Cameron Smith when needs be. He's got good variety. But more importantly for the Storm, he defended well. And that's what they really like in their players.
Yeah, and you also, when you're in a good team, you bring out there, and you're a good coach like Bellamy is, you bring out the key attributes of the individual. Yeah. I think his individual traits are on display there today. The way he just runs short, he's got power in his legs and not overplaying his hand. And then you've got Cameron Smith to do a bit of kicking. He kicked a lot more tonight, Cameron.
And I think the people that got the most confidence out of tonight was his teammates. Like, if you're Felice Kafusi, you're just as confident running into space as to what you were off Cooper Cronk. Same can be said for Jesse Bromwich. Same can be said for Billy Slater out the back. So, you know, they're going to have complete and utter confidence. If he demands a play, they'll back him up.
All right, let's hear from the Storm halfback, Brodie Croft.
Brodie, mate, there's a lot of expectation on you tonight. You must have been happy with your performance.
Yeah, I thought the boys really showed up tonight. It's been a pretty long pre-season. And to have a performance like that for our first hit out, it was a bit scrappy there in stages, but I thought in an all-round performance, I thought the boys put in real well.
What did you want to get out of tonight in your own performance?
Just to back myself and be confident with my calls and plays. I've got some world-class players around me that really helps me. And I guess sometimes you can get a bit overawed and overshadowed a bit. So especially in the position I play, I got to be dominant and demanding. And having guys like Chambers outside me, Slats out the back, and Smitty, they've been real good at helping me with my confidence and just taking the game on myself.
You talk about, you know, the Melbourne Storm's always the big three. Now Cooper's gone, but the other two guys, Cameron Smith, Billy Slater, how have they been for you?
Yeah, they've been incredible. I mean, they haven't had the biggest pre-season. They had a fair bit of time off. But yeah, since they've been back, they've really made their presence welcome by the boys. Just the way they go about their business, the professionalism, second to none. It's really lifted the boys, the playing group and all.
Nice to get a try tonight. I could see there was an intent to run the football early.
Yeah, we identified that a bit. I wanted to back my running game a bit there and keep the defence honest. So it was good to get a nice early try there just to back the confidence.
Any family here tonight?
Yeah, mum and dad, my two brothers come down today. So yeah, that's real special to have them down from all the way from Toowoomba. So yeah, that's real nice.
They'll be proud. Well done tonight.
Thanks, Lockie. Thank you.
Brodie Croft, what an impressive young man, the maturity in spades. He kept reiterating, I've got to back myself. And you can see that confidence really is key. And he gave praise to those more experienced players around him, saying, you know, Smithy, Chambers, they gave me the confidence that I could now take control of this game.
Would you expect anything less from a player that comes out of the Melbourne Storm? You know, that was the biggest difference Josh Adokar spoke about when he went to the Melbourne Storm. But just what Queensland need, another good bloody halfback.
It will be.
Get in line.
Production line.
Now, there were some really great and unusual moments. Now, we all rocked back in our chair. Vunivalu absolutely snapped Leeds halfback Richard Myler in half.
He just juggled that ball there, Richie Myler, and knew he was coming.
What do you do if Suliasi Vunivalu's running full freight at you?
I think you just brace and just prepare for impact as much as you can. I think the commentary as well, just married up, is beautiful. I think Fossey did a great job. Just
the Curry House.
The Curry House in Leeds. Oh, it's fantastic. Vindaloo. Fantastic.
Sammy was blown up. He's like, I would have got penalised for that.
Probably. It's all in the execution, you see. And the other strange thing we saw, a rare miss at conversion from Cameron Smith. He's second of the night, and then he just walked away. He said, no, that's it, I've had enough, I'm subbing myself off here.
He's just dropped the mic. I'm out of here.
I'm out.
Done. Yeah.
And then they've pretty much called the game off.
Yeah, they did.
OK, Smithy, yep, game off.
And he's got his own game next week, so that's why he's got a big occasion next week with JT.
We talked about how much control the Storm have, and really, there is no weakness, there is no chink in their armour. If tonight is anything to go by, 2018, they'll be, again, stellar and the benchmark of the competition.
Yeah, and again, it's just going to be how he manages those players, Craig Bellamy. So, you know, obviously, when we make our predictions, we make them on that no suspensions, no injuries, because the rosters are so tight with the salary cap. That's the way it is. But, you know, he's going to have to manage those guys if they are to go and play representative football, and then who comes through. We got a taste of it when they played against the Roosters in Adelaide. You and I called that beds in. They were brilliant. Yeah. Some of the young players were outstanding.
And as all teams, you need your good players playing. And this Billy Slater injury, really interested to see what happens there, because that changes the whole dynamic of the team. What happens there? Riley Jacks comes in, Munster goes back to fullback. So you've got two real young halves steering your team around. So everyone will be waiting to see what happens there, Billy.
Yeah, that certainly is the big news coming out of the Melbourne Storm. All right, now that you've got a taste for International Rugby League, make sure you tune into Fox League tomorrow to catch the Dragons and Hull FC and the Rabbitohs. Then they go up against Wigan in a fantastic doubleheader at ANZ Stadium, live and exclusive only on Fox League. Matt Shervington and Lara Pitt will be bringing you all of the action. Now, their main man, Sammy, hopefully you're back for the Charity Shield next Saturday out at Mudgee. The South Sydney Rabbitohs, they take on the Dragons, and they're taking their traditional pre-season out to the country.
There have been 5 draws, 16 wins for the Dragons, 12 for South Sydney. These men have held the Charity Shield since 2013.
Now Farah! The Dragons' defence doesn't hold long enough to stop Robbie Farah. 60% of the time in Dragons territory. Too much time to stop Alex Johnston. Cook, what a run. Darting and finding a hole. Now he kicks outside. Wonderful try from South Sydney. As Reynolds kicks outside again, looking for Burns, who gets a spectacular double. Keep kicking towards Braden, please.
The Yarra Valley, one of the finest winemaking regions in the country, and the perfect place for a long lunch, which I can attest to, and also home to our beautiful native wildlife. Tonight's World Club Challenge was made possible by Visit Victoria. Welcome back to Fox League. Cameron Smith expertly guiding the Storm to world domination. The final score 38-4 against Leeds at Amy Park. Up next for Smith is a very special testimonial match, an honour that he'll share with his great mate, Jonathan Thurston. It's going to be such a special time for them, gents. It's a chance for all rugby league fans to say thank you to two of the best that we've ever seen in the NRL. And we haven't quite seen a game like this before.
No, never. And hopefully, you know, while you'll be there to honour those two, you'll see some expansive football, two very good football teams as well, two of the more favourite teams in the competition. But I think it's a chance for probably all his teammates to jump on board, and I reckon there might be a bit of emotion there for Thurston and Smith. I think they're starting to realise that potentially it is the end of the road.
I've played in testimonial matches over in the UK, and everyone jumps on board because it's a special moment.
Yeah.
It's a real chance to
It's
really
respect,
elevate.
isn't it?
It is. It's respect,
Yeah.
and to elevate that champion of your team.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they're doing it together. In the UK, it's normally about one player for 1 year. So I think it's cool that they've combined together. They've created so much success together with Australia and Queensland in their own clubs respectively. So combining the game together, it's about both of them. It's going to be a special night.
Yeah, respect and mateship. I think that's two really important things that you brought up. It is, of course, the grand final rematch. It will be at Suncorp Stadium, February 23rd on a Friday, live and exclusive. And, of course, a percentage of the tickets and proceeds will go to their chosen charities. So that should be a very, very special night indeed. I think, again, very emotional. It's going to be something very special. And I know this is a thank you and the beginning of the end for Jonathan Thurston. We know that he now has finite days left in the NRL. So then the question mark is over Cameron Smith. How much longer will he go around for?
You saw tonight, and you spoke about it pre-game. He'd only been back at training for 10 days. He plays basically 75 minutes. I reckon he'll crack the 400 mark.
Yeah, is that what's exciting him at the moment? I'm sure there's a lot of things, not personal, but more, he just wants to keep driving this team, just wants to set new standards for his team, and he will get some personal accolades along the way, and he's not much more he can do. This whole new testimonial, that's another feeling that he's going to get, which he hasn't felt before, but he's pretty much done everything he can in the game.
He's done everything.
I think
he has done everything.
He's just excited to play. He just seems so excited to play. As you see tonight, he's first into every try celebration. He's super excited. He just seems to be loving what he's doing, and it's probably a great lesson for every kid out there playing. It's doing it to any kid in under 20s. Watching Cameron Smith. He's got a smile on his face from start to finish. Except when he got tackled.
Got under his skin a little bit.
When he got tackled a bit tight.
I haven't seen that for a long time.
You see when,
two nines.
Yeah, it was a great clash, but he just loves the game anyway. Jumped in on my point.
Well, you can be tuning in, Sammy. Make sure you do not miss it. Now, just a reminder, now is a perfect chance to start getting all of your research done for your Super Coach teams for 2018. You can pick up some decent cheapies and put your footy knowledge to the test. You can beat your mates, have the bragging rights, and also have a shot of winning $50,000. So register now. Start creating your dream team. supercoach.com.au. Gaz, Sammy, Danny, thank you so much.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank goodness the footy's back. Oh, my God.
Good game first up.
How good.
Exciting.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it from everyone here at Fox League. Thank you for your company. We'll leave you now with all the celebrations from Amy Parr.
This program brought to you by Harvey Norman. Need advice? We're here to help.